All right, what's up, Chris?
What's up,
2026, man. It's
Yes,
the first
sir.
podcast of the year. Haven't seen you in a few minutes.
I'm the first podcast of the year?
Yes, first podcast of the year,
Nice,
man. So we're
nice.
doing it right.
Yeah.
And I haven't done the podcast in some time. Just I hate to say this shit over and over, but the building is fucking. Really, dude, it really fucking threw me down. So
It's worth it, though, bro. Look at this.
yeah, it's a sacrifice, and now we have a fucking cool spot that we can set up and build different sets and do all the
awesome.
do all the things that we wanted to do, and do like workshops and educational stuff, and that was my ultimate dream.
You're going to reap the benefits well.
Yeah,
All
within
the
time.
sacrifice, all the sacrifice is going to be worth it.
Yeah, it's been one of the hardest projects that I've worked on, man. But some of the nights, after the first month, I was like, "What the fuck did I do, bro? Like, I want to go back to where I was, like,
Your garage.
Yeah.
Your garage.
where I was nice and safe, and even when I was renting, just because of the rent being so high, I was at a comfortable place where I was being able to pocket a little bit more money, that kind of stuff. And at this point, it's like, shit, bro, we had to empty out everything to make it happen. From just when we moved in, the flooring, the shelving, the walls, this was all additional that had to be paid on top. So we ended up, when we moved in, we paid probably about another $70,000 worth of add-ons. That of which I didn't expect to spend, and then
We always got to have be expecting that extra stuff that we don't know, right? It's about to happen. Right?
that's exactly what it is. You got to expect some shit's not gonna fucking. But you know
Expect
what?
the
When
bullshit.
I tell people, man, I think, and you and I were talking about this, is having a martial arts background. I think is what has helped me get through everything, man. Awesome. I would have never gotten through it if I didn't know, like, to dig deep and just be mentally tough, keep going forward.
Yes, and believe it or not, you're not the only person that has told me that. That's been my student. I have a few students that are business owners and have started, have had startups and stuff like that, and they'll be like, dude, honestly, like, just the way, like, what I've learned here at Jiu-Jitsu has gotten me through it. And it's the problem-solving mentality. It's the not seeking empathy, but more of seeking the solution. Yeah. It's about the grind. It's about embracing it being hard, And what I've noticed, what I'm starting to kind of like pinpoint now more than ever, is that just because something is hard doesn't mean it's bad. Like we have that kind of like, oh, it's hard, and it has like a negative connotation to it. Like since it hard means bad, dang it, when it shouldn't be that way. When it's hard, that means that the what you're gonna earn from that, or the result of that is gonna be bigger. It's gonna be more. It's gonna be more. You're gonna enjoy it more. You're gonna have more satisfaction. You're gonna be happier because of it being so hard. The easy things, well, yeah, you're gonna have easy things, and that's cool. But then it's the benefit from that, overcoming that easy little thing, is gonna be small. So you got to make big moves that are hard and look at it as in like, what am I going to get from that? And then also everything has a solution. Yeah. Literally everything has a solution. There is a solution to everything.
Absolutely. One of the things I used to tell people, I'm like, I used to love about jiu-jitsu is like when you get in that tough situation, you're tired, your fucking gas tank is gone. And, rolling with like Steven, like somebody that's like 300 fucking pounds. And he's fucking sweating all over you.
Shout out to Steven.
Yeah, Steven's my boy. And during those moments is when you look up and you smile, man. And you're like, all right, bro, this is why I'm here, to grow, to not to do the easy things, but to test myself, that I know that I can get out of hard situations. It's just going to take time, patience, and work your way out, little by little.
Yeah, it like removes all the social stuff going on of who you are, who you think you are, who you want other people to see you as, and it at the end gets down to the core, and it shows you who you really, really are, because you're like how you said, and it doesn't have to be Steven, just anybody like grinding on you and holding, and you're just like done. How you said, no gas tank, you don't know what to do, but that's where you find you're like, but I'm not gonna give up. But this guy's beat me too many times. I'm tired of that shit. I'm gonna find a way to get out. And the going crazy and impulsive and that
That's not gonna
you've done that before, and you've learned that is not the way out. That you gotta stay focused, find the most rational solution to get out. And then the getting out, you're in a deep hole. You're not gonna just click a button and then pop, now you're out. You know that you're in a deep hole, so you gotta work, grind, dig, build to eventually get out. And then you will, you know what I mean? And once you do that, the satisfaction of that. It goes back to what I was talking to you later. The harder it is, the bigger the reward.
Yeah, and even sometimes, you would fail and you go back home and you're fucking analyzing. You're sitting there in bed and you're like, fuck, how could I got out of that fucking shit?
But how happy are you driving home or at the end of the match or at the end of practice, just satisfied that you just went through, this tough times and this hardship and stuff, right?
So when it happens in business, I'm like, all right. I smile again. I'm like, all right, This is where it is. This is where it's going to show you who you are. It's going to reveal yourself. And, you just start doing the same thing, working your way out of it, doing exercise, go back. Like whenever I get into, and I'm curious to see how you handle this, but whenever like shit gets really, really tough for me, like bills are stressing, like shit's going wrong with clients, things like that, I always go like straight to the gym.
Honestly, I know, like, I've learned that over time too, that when I'm starting to stress and just kind of be like, and like everything is like, this is tough and this is tough. And then I'll be like, damn, I haven't rolled in a while. I haven't rolled in a couple of weeks because I've been teaching class. I've been out of town. I'm injured, so I haven't rolled. But I'm like, damn, I need to get back on the mats. And then once you roll and stuff, you go back to like that warrior Spartan mentality of like you could overcome anything and you can.
Bro, my wife is always telling me you need to go back to jiu-jitsu. She tells me, she's like, you need to go back, dude, and I'm like, I need to find the time, honey, because I'm like, I don't have enough hours and I'm trying to make it work and figure it out, because I come home, I eat dinner, and then I go right back to my computer. And then I'll work out like from 10 to 12, and then I'm fucking back in front of my computer for another few hours, whatever energy, depending on the energy level.
You're gonna have to outsource some of that stuff to somebody else that can do it, and they're not gonna be able to do it as well as you, because they're not gonna be as passionate, maybe because it's your thing, your baby, your business. But it'll relieve you of some, mental clarity or mental capacity where you could use more of that to what you're good at.
And that's been like my biggest riddle, man, because it's like we do it, and then I'm like, all right, I'm fucking letting shit go and passing it on, right? And I've listened to Gary Vee on this, and, right? They're not gonna do it as good. Just give it some time and shit. Yeah. And then you're like 6 months later, it's still happening, bro. It's like a year later, and then now you're like, okay, you got to go find somebody else, and then now, you go through that.
That's what Gary Vee told me, right? He's like, if it doesn't work, fire the fucker and hire the next one.
Right? Hire fast, and it's one of the things that I've struggled a lot with, and I'm learning like over the years, and I feel like we've gotten a good formula, but at first I was like, all right, I'm all in. Let's fucking do it. I'm done. You can have this fucking problem, right? And then we start losing clients because of the level of service. And then so money goes down, so problems come back. So you got to come get back in it, right? So, and then you're like, okay, that didn't work. I'm going back to the drawing table. We need to retrain it. And so dude, anybody that scales, I respect a lot, because it is a riddle, bro. It is one of the hardest things that I've done.
And then you have to like micromanage at sometimes, but usually you should be good macro managing, right? And then what I've learned from one of my friends that he has a big company is he's always looking to invest in them and like motivate them and find a way to inspire them to be the best version that they are, kind of make them know that it's not just about, this is my business and like it's not yours, you just work here kind of thing, but it's more of like, this is the project. It doesn't matter who's the CEO, who's this, like we're all working together into making the best product that we are deciding that this is what we do, right? You got to be passionate about what you do, man. Whether you're the boss or not just because you're an employee does that mean that that you get to like, I don't really care, I'm just here for the money. Why are you here? You know what I mean? Like, you like doing this, so let's see it. Who do you want to be known for, to do this? And then, it motivates people that way.
Yeah, so that's one of the beautiful things about being a leader is you got to put all that shit together and know how to to lead people, right? You got to know, all right, this guy gets motivated by this, and this guy gets motivated by that.
Yeah.
And it's a constant thing. So, and this is outside, and you and I were talking about this, right? About doing the shit that you hate or that you don't like, and turning that and not saying, I don't even have that in my vocabulary. I don't like to say that shit, honestly, because I feel like if I do, I'm already buying into that shit.
Saying what? That you don't like doing this?
That I don't like something. Like if it's something that is hard,
I'm gonna try to adopt that.
I've just tried to fucking just change it, bro, and say, I get to do this, right? So I've always, I try to change that mentality. And I was telling you the story during the grand opening that we had. I had a group of people standing around me, and they were asking me, like, hey, what is the thing that you hate most of all this stuff that you do? And I laughed, and they were like, why are you laughing, bro? And I'm like, because I've trained myself, like, to not say that to myself. Because if I do, bro, my days are going to be miserable. So you can choose to do it that way, or you can choose to change your mindset on it and then just start going. And when you do, man, just that little change, it'll help you get through those times.
Yeah,
man,
learn to love it.
Yeah, you got to learn to love it. You know, like Mike Tyson said, right? You got to, discipline is doing something that you hate, but doing it like you love it.
Doing
right?
it like you love it. Yep.
Yeah, and I've really adopted that. And that was interesting that when you and I were talking about that, it's the first thing you said. And this is what I was trying to explain this to my daughter, because my daughter was like, Dad, you have to separate business and your personal life. And I'm like, babe, you think Michael Jordan fucking thought that way? You think Michael Jordan thought that way? Because that's who I want to be like. I don't want to be
the Michael Jordan of marketing.
I just want to be the best at what I do, and that's how I am. I try to go all in.
And you should be trying to do that shit too, right?
That's the mentality, and I said that's the difference when you think like an employee or you think like an owner, because you got to love the shit. You got to really, really love the shit. You got to obsess on, like a Michael Jordan level, like he was obsessed. Like to be a great, you gotta fucking obsess, and there is no. And I get that, and I don't know, you probably get this with family where they're like, you need to relax a little bit. You're always working, mijo, like you should, life isn't just about.
Exactly.
They try to give me these talks, and I'm just like looking at them like, you fucking have no clue of who I am. Like that's how I think.
That is what life is about. It's my legacy,
bro. Like
life is about pursuing your passion and stuff like that, and driving everyone around you to also be doing that.
Yeah.
Not just.
I think that's the thing about being a man today, right? It's just like be protector, provider, but you're also fucking leading. Like people are watching what you're doing, and they're picking up.
Yeah, that's enough. You got to find drive in everything, right? So it's like, that's where I also find that extra drive of like, damn, I got my twin boys that are watching me. Yeah. So I got to be that example of what a man is to them. Yeah. And that's also the reason why I fought one more time,
Really?
I
was going to ask you about that shit.
I wanted to do it one more time for them. I was like, they're of age now. They'll remember, they're more aware of what's going on. And dude, it was fucking amazing. It was an amazing experience to have.
Tell me about that, man, because I'm really interested in it.
I hadn't fought since my last fight before this past one was right before they were born. So it's 8 years ago. And it just, my mindset changed, my focus changed. I was trying to, set them up and, make sure they're taken care of and stuff. So, and then I'm like, okay, so I need to work more on my business. So it's just, I kind of started going through a different route. Yeah. Excuse me. And, but fighting is like what made me who I was, that was able to succeed in these businesses. So I was like, I need to, kind of get back in touch with that. And I also wanted them to see who their dad is, Yeah. And so I told my friend Carlos Pacheco from CFC, and he was like, all right, let's do it, man. And I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, huh? Like, I guess you're the guy to, he's like, yeah, I'll get you a fight for sure, man.
You weren't just the fight, you were like the main event.
So I ended up being the main event, and oh man, it was fun. It was fun. The process, going through it, seeing everybody, how they, wanted to rally behind me and push me and help and contribute. Seeing myself, live up to the challenge, reminding myself, once it started getting closer, what it feels like that you have a fight coming up, and those butterflies, that nervousness.
What does that feel like, man?
Man,
If you feel that way, like just with like a jiu-jitsu match, I can imagine what it feels like with a fucking fight.
and it goes back to learning to love it, and it's finding the positive side of everything in life. So where if you are negatively inclined on things, you may see that as doubt and as nervousness, which I feel nervousness is like on a negative side of things. So instead of saying nervous, I always say anxious, because anxious means, well, for me, anxious is like I want it to happen already.
Yeah, you're kind of like
nervous is like you're like, ugh, you're doubting it, and it's the same feeling chemically going on in your gut and in your body. It's the same thing as going on, but you decide how to perceive it. You know what I mean? So every challenge, you got to learn to perceive it, in the positive way, and not to make things religious or anything like that, but one of the things that, I changed in my life about a year and a half ago, I've never missed church. I'm always at church and stuff. And it's like, when you ask God for something, he's not going to just give you that. He's going to give you a test. So like, if you're asking for patience, he's going to give you experiences and stuff to make you have patience to overcome that. If you ask him for strength, he's going to give you things that make you, you have to be strong to be able to do that, So that's, again, going and looking at the positive side of things. So when things are tough and hard, you got to be like, what's the positive side of things? Or why is God giving me this test in life? And what is it that I have to learn to be able to overcome this? And then there it is. And you're going to find it. You're going to find it, what it is that you got to do to overcome that. And then you start doing it. And then now you're stronger because you learned to find the positive side of things, find the way out, find the solution to it instead of seeking empathy. I get the empathy thing, but sometimes I get so like, all right, dude, get over it. You know what I mean? And then I say this to people often. I'm like, what helps me is like, at the end of the day, first world problems, dude. Yeah. Chill out.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's my phone, I broke it. It's like, dude, come on.
Yeah.
There's people in Iran right now, there's people in Venezuela, or there's people in Ukraine, like Africa, whatever, that are living real problems. And then, well, yeah, but you can't downplay that. Yeah, I guess you can't. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, your stress and stuff, but look, you're going to be able to overcome this. You're going to get through it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And
it's not life or death.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I've always like kind of helped me kind of like learn to be like, just go through it, not just lay down and be like, oh, poor me.
Yeah, I think I've learned as I've gotten older to shorten that fucking time. I call it the pity party and shit. To fucking make that pity party happen less quick.
And people live in that pity party, bro. And then that's their excuse to their not succeeding. Yeah. They always got an excuse of, dude, it's
like when you're a little kid and you get sent to your room and shit, and you're in your pity party mode, right? And some people, like you said, fucking will stay there for days. Some people weeks, bro.
Or they everything that happens, they're always looking for their excuse of why they're going to fail.
Oh, that's why. It's because of that.
And then they don't know that they're just setting themselves up for failure every single time.
Absolutely.
Right? Like that saying, he who thinks he will fail and he who thinks he will succeed are both usually right.
Yeah.
So if you don't believe in yourself, you think you're going to fail and you're already looking for that, oh, I failed because of that guy.
Yeah.
Or this didn't work because of him. Or I couldn't do this because of that.
Yeah.
Then that's...
you have that kind of background sense. Are you big into that, like the power of thought and shit like that?
You know what? And I
like how you think you will become as you think you should.
Yeah, dude. But I learned that all through jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Because you always have had that mentality since the first day that I met you. But it's not something...
I'll say things and I'll have conversations and they're like, yeah, dude, the 12 powers of blah, 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 like a book. And I'm like, damn, dude, I wish I would have read it. You know what I mean?
That's why I'm asking you.
Like, and I'm starting to get into books,
Do you think that came from like senseis or mentors of yours?
No. I think jiu-jitsu as a mentor, maybe me just analyzing things, bouncing back and forth with some other things, maybe some motivational speeches, podcasts and stuff. I do that. I just got ADHD, so it's hard for me to sit down and read. I'm starting to do it. That's kind of been like my new, like, I need to be able to read like a book, like there's like, and then I'm like, I would turn myself away when I would start because I'm like, damn it, I was reading, but I'm thinking of something else. This past couple pages, I'm like, crap, I don't want to start, and I get dismotivated. Now I'm like, okay, I'll catch myself when I start dozing off, and then I'll go back to those 2 sentences, and then I'll keep going. So I'm starting to read now, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, honestly, I've never really had much like an actual mentor that like, but I've had friends, that have gone through stuff too. I have an older brother that I speak to often, and I see the way he lives life and stuff like that too. So I don't know. I think I'm just a product of my environment.
Yeah, life has been your teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I didn't even read a book till I was 30.
Damn.
Yeah. And then when I hit 30 is the first day I read a book, because I was the same way. And then I read it. I kind of laughed at this shit. I was like, this kind of stuff is kind of corny, bro. But, that's how I first thought. I started writing down my goals and stuff.
Did you hate it at first? You're like, yeah.
Bro, honestly, I was at rock bottom.
Oh, wow.
And at the time that I read a book, I was like, fuck it. Let's see what else. I've gone to college. I have been there for my kids. I was going through a separation. I was like at the lowest point, and I was like, you know what? I was sleeping upstairs, and I was like, man, let's see what else is out there. I'm gonna try to. I was watching martial arts movies and shit, Ip Man, and doing.
See, there
shit.
you go. There's your motivation. It started there a little bit, right? That Bruce Lee talking and stuff.
Yeah, and then I read an article on Yahoo, and it said a guy pays all his debts off after reading a book. And I was like, well, what fucking book is this?
Hold on. You said on Yahoo?
On Yahoo. Yeah, it was on Yahoo.
What is this, 1995 or something?
Yeah, so it was a while back. 15 years ago, almost 15 years ago.
Dang. Dude, it had to have been more.
Yeah, it was like 15 years ago, yeah.
Man, Yahoo was a thing.
Yeah. It was just for news.
Yeah, like the front page, the homepage.
Yeah, homepage, news. And I read it, I was like, well, let's see what this book is about. And so I read it, I clicked on it, and then it was like Think and Grow Rich. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna get this book. Turned out to be like one of the fucking best books you should probably read it for personal development.
Really?
Napoleon Hill, yeah. So I read that book, and I wrote down all my goals, and I was like, I laughed because I wrote down make $100,000 in a year. And I was like, bro, I've gone to college. I'm got a career, and I don't see the opportunity here. I don't see it. Like, I don't see.
What did you go to college for?
For business.
Okay.
Yes, I went to Park College on Fort Bliss. And because I had to be going to school, then going to college and raising my kids at the same time. So I read the book, and I was like, I called my brother, and I was like, hey, Pancho, my brother's name is Pancho. I was like, I just read this book, man. It's talking about like putting down your thoughts and writing down your goals and shit like that. And I wrote down I'm going to make 100,000. And I laughed at myself. And he always reminds me of that because
you're like 100,000. Shut up,
I'm
chill.
never going to make it, bro. I'm never going to make it. And I read that book, and I started like getting serious with it. I'm like, everything that's in the book, I'm going to fucking get serious. So I'm getting serious in that. I started doing martial arts. So because of Ip Man, I started looking up like martial arts schools in El Paso, people that train. I was trying to learn Wing Chun, Kung Fu. I was like looking up shit like that. And one guy's name kept on coming up. It was Greg Allen. And it was Greg Allen. I was like, who the fuck is Greg? So I look it up. Oh, it's our police chief here in El Paso. So I was like, Greg Allen. I was like, you know what? I think I seen him in our store because I worked at Alamo. And I went over to...
Oh, that's right. You did work there.
Yeah, he would always be in there. And Bud Reno, who's our manager, he was good friends with him. And I went over to Bud, and I said, hey, Bud, that guy, Greg Allen? He's like, yeah. I was like, you think you can call him for me and see if he'd take me on as a student? And then he's like, yeah, walk with me. So he calls, and he's like, hey, Greg, how's it going? I got this good kid. He's a really good kid here. He wants to learn that Kung Fu shit,
That karate shit.
Yeah, he wants to learn that shit. And then he's like, yeah, just tell him to come to my house, and he gives him the address and
shit at his house, huh?
Yeah. And so I go and show up to Greg Allen's house, man, and I'm already feeling guilty it is because I grew up rough, and I'm thinking if he really knows who I am, he's not going to want me as a student, That's how I was feeling at the beginning. And went in, and Greg took me in as a student and trained with him for the first...
Kung Fu,
yeah. And for the first 3 weeks, I tell people all the time, it was like some Karate Kid type shit.
You're taking your jacket off, putting it back on, picking it up.
Bro, he had me fucking standing against the mirror, fucking punching like this over. And then he'd just come over and You know,
Really, dude?
yeah, for fucking the whole 2 hours for 3 weeks, just 3 weeks. And I was like, bro, when am I fucking gonna start to learn to fucking defend myself, bro?
He was teaching you patience,
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's why I see it. I was like, all right, it's some fucking Karate Kid type
persistence,
shit. Yeah,
patience.
yeah. So, Greg Allen, you know, that started a journey for like 3 years that I was there.
You trained for 3 years with him?
Yeah, I did weapons training, Kali, Screama,
I've wanted to learn Kali.
and
I like that stick fighting stuff.
yeah, bro.
Looks
I mean,
fun.
once you do, it's like muscle memory. Once you know, because like moving the hands and having the hands rotate, that is a hard thing because at first it's not natural, like to cross your hands and stuff like that. So it's something that doesn't come natural. But you know, going in there with Greg, you know, and I was going through the separation, and Greg would stay after. He'd be like, "Hey, are you all right? Everything's going good with you?" Look, you know, and then he would stay and talk to me after, and I was like, "This dude doesn't have to talk to me, bro." Like,
Yeah.
if you met Greg, he's a straight up dude. Like he's no nonsense. 60 something years old, he'd be doing sit-ups, pull-ups when I got there. The whole time while we were training, he's there sitting doing crunches, and that
badass.
was him, bro. Like the whole fucking time. He's
That's
like
freaking awesome. You had a real life sensei, huh?
a real life fucking sensei, bro. He's like a father to me. Like he would say shit. Like I still hear his voice in my head where he'd be like, and he had a lot of like really good wisdom that he'd be like, "Watch, you see that tree over there?" He's like, if you stood here, you're not going to ever see that tree grow. But if you take off and you come back 5 years later, you'll realize that that tree has grown. He's like,
shit.
you are the tree. So he'd tell me shit like this.
That you are the tree?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's the lesson behind that?
That you're growing, bro, but we don't see it.
Oh, that
don't
you're going
see
to
it.
grow regardless,
Yeah.
but you're still here.
You're still here. We don't see it because we are the tree looking at ourselves every day. You know what I'm saying?
That makes sense. I could correlate with that with my students, adults or little kids, but little kids will see it more. We'll have like little 5-year-olds that are at the bottom of the totem pole of the whole class because we'll have a class of like 40 kids, and they're just getting their butt kicked, dude, every single day, and then they're all down on themselves.
Yeah.
And I suck at this, and we're just, come on, man, get back up, get in there again, do it again, come on. When are you gonna start getting tired of getting beat up, man? Like, turn it up. You're just pushing yourself over, and like, bro, your dad is over there watching you every single day, and you just come here, you're not even trying, because you could see when they're not trying. You know, they're just like, oh, and they just get, and it's like, come on, man, and then they don't notice, they don't feel that they're getting better at all, and then the new kid comes in. And then they're just like running through the new kids. And then you could see them kind of be like, oh, shoot. And then they start beating the other kids that usually beat them. And it's because it kind of goes, yeah,
thing.
they don't know that they're growing
Yeah.
because they're just kind of in comparison to everything that's still that they're seeing every single day. Those other two little kids keep beating them every single day, but they've been there longer.
Yeah.
So they're getting better just as much as you are. And then some new one comes in.
Yeah.
And then, oh, shoot, you notice that.
Yeah.
You see their mistakes. You just kind of have like this new scope of comparison.
I use that analogy all the time when we talk about business, when people come in, because I remember that in jiu-jitsu. Like, that's the first thing you got to know. You got to get your ass kicked before you can serve the ass kickings. That's what I tell people. And that's how it is when you come into, when people come in here, they want to do all the big things. And like, I'm like, dude, bro, like first learn to get your ass kicked first. And then you'll start serving the ass kickings. Like you got to earn that fucking right to do that, you know? And it humbles you, right? So,
That's probably a good filter of who stays and who goes too, huh?
Yeah.
The ones that are willing to do that,
Yeah.
and they get through that, they're
Yeah.
like, yeah, this guy's here for the long run. And the ones that are like, nah, dude, I'm bigger than that. I need
Or I come in, I need a raise. How much are you going to pay me like right off the bat? You know, and it's like, bro, like come in and fucking show me who you, or they'll be like, hey, if you give me more money, I'll fucking turn it up and I'll do more. I was like, how about just doing more first? And then, you know, like that kind of attitude, bro. Yeah. So it takes me back to that shit. Cause I remember when I first started training jiu-jitsu, I didn't know shit about it. I was doing stand-up for 3 years. So I thought, and it's a whole different fucking, once you go on the ground, obviously it's a different thing. And then getting your ass kicked, like I'd get my ass kicked to where I'd go home and I'd be like fucking having to take Tylenol or something just to get to bed, bro. Because your neck gets cranked, you know, you just fucking start.
You get Batman neck. So I tell people more and more that this is a thing in jiu-jitsu, Batman, when you can't. You're like, so you got to turn like this, like Batman.
Yeah. Batman neck. I remember getting wizard and I couldn't get out of the fucking wizard.
your shoulders all messed
yeah,
up.
Yeah, bro. I'm like,
And then you learn right there. It's like, damn, dude, if you're gonna keep doing the same thing over and over, and the same thing is gonna keep happening, man. And you haven't learned, you go and do it again. And then sometimes you do things that we don't even notice that we're doing. You know what I mean? And until it gets highlighted, and then you gotta be like, oh shoot, I keep doing. I need to stop doing that. And then learning to change. You know what I mean? And some people don't think that they could change. Like who they are now is who they are. Yeah. And it's like, dude, you're still just 28 years old. This is not your final. You think this is your final form of who you are, dude? You still got a lot of growing up to do. I still got a lot of growing up to do, but so do you. You got to change that mindset right away. And again, I learned it through jiu-jitsu.
Even with older people, I see like older people where they're like, no, I just learned what I did, and that's what I did my whole life.
That's what's worked for me.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, dude, so what have you added more stuff to that? And that other things worked for you too, not just that way.
Yeah. That was another lesson that Greg had told me about the sensei that was famous for his one punch. He was actually would knock out a bull with one punch, right? And everybody was like, this guy's fucking crazy. He knocks people out with one punch, right? And he said on his deathbed, he was surrounded by all his pupils. And his last words were, I think I finally figured out my punch.
Yeah, because you got to keep working on yourself.
That was the moral of the fucking story, is that you got to always be a white belt. I tell people all the time, I'm a white belt, bro, for life, because I have to continue to learn. And I have to keep that mentality here to grow. If I don't have that mentality, like, if I think I know every fucking thing, I'm learning off of youngsters all the time. Like,
there's a famous, I don't even know who ends up, I've seen it, that been quoted by a couple other people, but I think this is an author, Victor Hugo. He used to say, all I know is that I know nothing. Yeah. Or I think someone else put Aristotle once. Yeah. I'm like, well, that guy's been around longer. Maybe him, who cares? But anyways, and that makes sense. Once you learn that, like, you don't know everything, and I get people like that too, man, that they're just so talented and they're good, and they think that their way of thinking is there it is. And then you're like, hey, man, but this isn't that. Nod. And they always got a rebuttal for everything you're telling them. And it's like, Jesus Christ, man. So, like, that's it? You're already a pro level, so why didn't you win? Yeah. I don't know. Why you still got losses in your, but like, what can you work on if you already know everything? And that's the worst mentality to have, man. It sucks. Yeah.
I tell people that hard work beats talent all day, bro. I'd rather take, and I want your opinion, would you rather take somebody with a good attitude or somebody that's super fucking talented?
Yeah, definitely the good attitude.
Yeah,
definitely.
That's how I feel the same way too. Because I can, if somebody is a good talent, a good attitude, I can get them there. They're gonna have to work.
I also think there's different forms of talent that help you in different ways. Yeah. Even though not everything can be physical talents, the other type of talents can
being smart.
Yeah, it can be more valuable in the fingerprint. In your fingerprint of who you are as a fighter, who you are as a person. Everyone has their own ways of doing things. Yeah. You got to find your strengths and your weaknesses, And yes, work on your weaknesses, but also double down on your strengths, and know what you're good at and work on that hard, but also see what your limitations are and where you can, excel.
So what's one of the biggest lessons that you've learned now in running your business? Because you've had it for some time now. And I know I sometimes these fucking general questions for me too. I'm like, how long do you run on this podcast?
Which way do you want to go? You know what I mean?
But just if you can just shoot off maybe one or two that stand out to you, just come first to mind.
I got one. The number one thing is which is going to help you in growing, in attracting the right people, and also keep you going, is doing things for the passion, like with passion and for the right reasons. You know what I mean? Yeah. Have passion in what you're doing and love what you're doing is going to keep you going when it's tough, because you're doing it because you love it. You're not doing it because you're trying to be the best all the time, or because that's not the number one reason why you're trying to, you know what I mean? And you're able to keep going. But also, if you're doing it with passion and because you love it, people will feel that and they'll see that and they'll attract the right people to you. It'll attract the wrong people too. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But it'll attract good people to you that want to attach themselves to that passion, or kind of connect their passion also, that they're also passionate for it and they want to help and contribute. But also people want to come and see that. They want to come and be a part of that because it generates this good vibe of the real reason. Because people get turned off like me. I get turned off by like when everything's like about the money and like and then who do it? And then everything's just like a number assigned to people and stuff. It's like, oh man, dude, that's all we're gonna talk about. Like just like why not like just be like amazing at it and stuff like. I get it. I know Elon Musk knows money very, very well, but whenever you hear him talking about it, he doesn't really talk too much about money unless you ask him and stuff. He's more about kind of like trying to inspire.
And he has the same mentality too.
I'm trying to get to Mars. And he's like, I'm not trying to make the most rich and like make the most money. And that's what's getting him there. You know, I'm trying to change the car scene to make electrical cars and do this and that. And then boom. And now he's making.
Have you read his autobiography?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, his book is really, really well.
Is it new?
Yeah, it's a new, fairly new, maybe like 2 years.
Okay.
Do audiobooks, bro. I love audiobooks too. I think audiobooks are easier because reading too, I start getting fucking tired and bored and shit.
Yeah, I'm learning that, and then once that happens, okay, I'll just stop. I'm in no rush to finish this book.
Yeah.
But audiobooks,
yeah.
Next thing I know, I'm like, look, and then shit, like how far back do I need to go? And
you do a podcast while you drive?
I'll do a
too?
podcast while I drive. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, me too.
PBD podcast, man.
I replaced my drive time, or I would tell myself, all right. You want to listen to music, you got to put in the work first, and then you get to listen to your music.
Sometimes I'm like, I'm just listening to the same songs over and over. I'll put the music when my kids are in the car.
Or you ever listen to some shit that you used to listen to back in the day, and you're like, fuck, bro, it just don't hit the same, bro. So,
I've had that, but I've also had the ones where like, dude, I hadn't heard this song forever. Turn that Nelly up.
Yeah. Yeah, that happens to me too. I even go back to even shit that was even before my time. I like to listen to the 80s, 70s, and fucking that's how I just love music.
Yeah, my library on Apple Music is weird. And I can't go and put that like at the gym because it'll be like some good like deep bass like house music to like work out, and then it'll be like reggaeton, and then it'll be like some Neil Diamond, and then Vicente Fernandez, and it's like, oh crap, what the hell's going on?
By the end of the workout, you're ready to take a shot.
Yeah, I see people like going like this, like, what the hell are we working out to?
What are we choking people out to?
Yeah, and then some romantic music comes on every now and then. It's like dudes grunting and trying to kick each other's ass to like some sexy music.
That's funny, man. Did you play sports in high school?
I did. I did gymnastics and I played baseball.
Baseball.
But I also did orchestra. That's always a fun fact that I like to tell people. I played violin from like 4th grade all the way through high school. And I was pretty good at it. And I loved it, dude.
Yeah.
It was just like,
so you have a music background.
Yeah,
too.
I know how to read music. And then just like there's so much things depicted in the music that I feel that is a big part of my learning capability in martial arts or in anything. And the way of, because at the end of the day, martial art is an art. Yeah. And what does art mean? It's an expression of yourself.
Yeah.
So in a song, there's like crescendos, decrescendos, where it's like the volume is going up and it's also going down. Then there's accents, you know what I mean? Like that where you're more staccato, like choppier, and then there's other ones where you're a little bit more smoother and all that. And then even just on the time signature, the beats, the quarter note gets the beat, and then the eighth notes, and then the half notes, and then the little one with the little dot. I forgot what those are, but that helped me with my striking of just being like ba 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 ba. And then with the tempo, and then you start adding your accents, and then at the end of the day, once you like mastered all that crap, then you make it your own. Then you make it now you're over here being a freaking guy that's jamming out on the violin solo, like in the middle of the stage playing Mozart, and maybe Mozart didn't want it that way, but this is your interpretation of the Mozart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I get it. That's crazy. The correlation most people that do, and I know that JD music, a lot of people that the correlation between
JD with his screamo.
Yeah,
it's not screamo, but I love telling him that. I'm like, bro, cut it out with your screamo. He's like, it's not screamo, it's rock, it's heavy metal.
There's a correlation between, because it is all arts. I mean, Bruce Lee brought this to art to the front, right? He would talk about that it's just a form of expression, right? You're expressing yourself. And what was your like early days? What was that spark that got you into martial arts, or how did you even get your start in martial arts?
I always tell people I started for the wrong reasons, man. And back in high school and stuff, I was going through some tough times, you know, like my parents were going through like a divorce and stuff. So they were kind of not as focused onto me as maybe they should have or would have been ideal. So I ended up dropping out of sports and just I had a group of friends that we used to love going to Juarez and drinking and partying and stuff. And we would we're young dudes with testosterone and loving adrenaline. We would get into fights and stuff, and just that adrenaline of getting in a street fight and stuff, or like brawl, like 2 against 3, you know, that kind of stuff. And then like, and then afterwards raving about it, dude, I fucking hit that guy, and I fucking fuck that guy, dude, and we used to love doing that shit. Luckily, Fit Fam was not around during that time because damn, dude. But we used to love doing that, and I really fell in love with like how, you know, awesome that feeling of being in the moment is. At the end of the day, that you're like so in the moment, like nothing else matters but that situation that's going on. And I guess also me being ADHD, kind of like always having 10 things going on in my mind at the same time. During fighting, I only had one thing going on, and you had to have one thing going on. Yeah. So I ended up wanting to fight or learn martial arts because I wanted to fight in the cage. I jumped on UFC, watching UFC all the time, back when it was on Spike TV. Yeah. Back in the Tito Ortiz era, the Matt, what's it called? What's his last name? Matt Hughes. Yeah. Matt Hughes era, BJ Penn era, GSP, during that stuff. I'm like, dude, this is what I want to do.
Was that the first time you watched it?
It was around that era. I don't know what the first fights were that I
watched the first fucking Hoist Gracie fight as a kid.
Live, like it was recent?
No, it was on fucking, my mom never got cable.
That was before, yeah.
My mom didn't believe in that shit. So that was only a few channels. And luckily that was one of the shows that came out on just regular TV. And I was just blown away by Hoist Gracie, bro. That's why I wanted to learn jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, that was a little bit pre my era. Mine was already kind of like UFC was a little bit more established. So it was like a little bit before the Ultimate Fighter. So it was like I said.
Yeah, Tito Matt was Hughes, probably
like Tito Ortiz.
10 years in.
Like Chuck Liddell was a champ, that kind of stuff. Yeah. And John Jones started jumping. It was a good era, bro. That's what made me want to start fighting. And then once I started doing that, I just never got into like street fight. I don't want to say never, but it definitely was like a line graph that I started going, and now I'm at the bottom. Like,
so you went and enrolled in a gym, or
yes,
from that you just walked into a gym and said, I want to fucking learn?
Yeah, and I just started and then never stopped, man.
Really?
And I thought I was going to start fighting, but it was just jiu-jitsu.
What was the first gym that you...
It was at 10 Planet.
Really?
Yeah. When it first came to El Paso, I was just a student there.
Wow. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I just never stopped. It was freaking amazing, man. And like I said, and the most cliche thing to say, right? It changed my life.
Yeah.
But dude, it really did. It just changed your mindset, man. And then just that mindset that makes you good at jiu-jitsu and why you get better and better and better and better. You just copy it and paste it and apply it to other things in life.
This was around what age?
I started at 19.
Okay.
I'm 35 now.
So when you went in, you first went in because did you start fighting first, or was it?
No, I just started training.
Jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai. Started training Jiu-Jitsu and Muay Thai at 19 years old.
And then at what point did you say, like, I'm going to start competing?
I was already a purple belt. I want to say like 23, 24 is when I first fought. Yeah. Fought for King of the Cage out in Santa Fe.
What was that like?
It was amazing, dude. It was awesome too because I was the first fight on the card. So I was able to fight, get it out of the way, and then just watch the rest of the fights and stuff. So, but it was awesome. And I did like a mistake I was just so hyped. And it goes with maturity now that I see it. Just like, so like, And I went and like balls to the wall, submitted the dude in like 30 seconds.
Really?
And I yelled and I went crazy. And now I see that happen and I'm just like, oh my God, dude, like chill.
Yeah.
But now, so I was that guy.
Yeah.
And,
it was adrenaline, right? It was like an adrenaline dump. That's something that you don't learn. Yeah, I guess you don't learn, or you don't ask the right question. Like, hey, coach, what's the strategy like when I first... my first tournament that I did, that's why I was laughing, because I did the same exact thing, and I grabbed a guy, and we ran, over in Albuquerque, we were in the
jiu-jitsu tournament.
Yeah, the jiu-jitsu tournament, and we ran into the fucking stands. Bro.
Oh damn, dramatic as hell, right?
Wooden stands, bro. And
the high school bleachers.
The high school bleachers, and then after that, I'm like, damn, bro, I think I went a little too hard on that. My energy's like,
There it is, controlling your emotions. That's something you learn in jiu-jitsu, and you will learn that way quicker in competitive martial arts than just going and doing martial arts. Because after a while, your gym is your home.
yeah,
You're fighting against all your homies that you've met for years or you've known for years.
Yeah.
And you know who beats who.
Yeah.
And you kind of have those goals of like, but you're calm. You're in
Yeah.
your comfort zone. Going to compete against somebody you've never met before in a place where there's like all these people yelling, and then there's a spotlight and and then there's announcers and stuff, and you get hyped up, and you need to learn to just stay cool.
yeah.
And I tell people, I'm like, dude,
I wish somebody would have told me.
yeah, but it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
Right? Even me,
Even
man.
when they tell you.
Even when they tell, even me telling you, I'll go. Everyone has that, like, but excuse me. Damn, what was I gonna say?
Yeah, just that energy dump in that first fucking, it was crazy. But I laugh about it. I have it on film. It's funny, man. And then after that, I was like, okay, it's a long fight. It was a long match because the guy was good.
Nice. Oh, so the point I was getting to is like me being so hyped up. I just I wanted to go in there and finish everyone. And I mean, that should be your mindset. I mean, I think now as a pro, to go out there and finish everyone as quickly, just get the dub. Don't over here be trying to put on a show. If the show happens, it happens, dude, because don't try to be like, I'm going to go and do this and that. No, dude. Just go out there. What's the best way for you to go out there and win the fight without you getting damaged and finish the fight quickly?
Yeah.
You know? But in amateur, that's all I was doing.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where I fought 6 times and I literally had a total of probably like 2 minutes in the cage. Yeah. And then once you turn pro, it's like, damn, I don't have that much experience. You know, I had 6 fights, but I was 6-0, and then I was like all first round finishes like right away, just going 100 miles an hour. And then later, when you go against guys that are more experienced, and you're not going to be able to do that, then you're gonna feel that for the first time in a professional fight, where you go to the round 2, where you go to round 3, where they aren't falling for. You know what I mean? Yeah,
you got to manage that gas that you have,
and you should have those experiences in amateur.
Yeah.
And that's what I tell people when people go like, damn, dude, I went the distance and I'm like, dude, great, man. You got 9 minutes of experience in the cage.
For sure.
You got a lot of experience in there, dude. And then they filmed it. You got footage of you doing trial and error. And now you got work of doing something one round, talking to your coach, and then adjusting and adapting and seeing if you could apply in the second round.
Yeah.
And then adjusting and talking to your coach again, and then overcoming that adversity. You know what I mean? You got a lot more experience in there of stuff that you could learn from. And you should have those in amateur. Who cares if you won or lost as an amateur?
Yeah.
Definitely don't get hurt and don't go out there and get knocked out and like take all this damage because you're not even getting paid.
Yeah.
But have those experiences so when you do turn pro, you're more well seasoned.
Yeah, it's a crazy experience.
I just remember this. There's nothing compared to the feeling of you walking in the cage, someone else walking in the cage, and then cameras walking with you. There's the DIs, the people from the commission and stuff, and then slowly like everyone just kind of like gets out, and it's just you and them, and then that feeling and that sound of them closing the gate, and then putting the little pin, and then going. And the referee, ready? And then, that feeling right there, dude, of like, boom, now you lock in with that guy in front of you and see how ready, you know what I mean? That feeling is orgasmic, dude. It's amazing.
Damn.
It's uncomparable to anything.
Damn, that's crazy. And then so when you're in that experience and then you get the first punch, is it like, all right, I'm there?
It used to be like that for me. It used to be like that. And that's a bad thing to have. That, you're just so like out of it. And you're just like, and then bing, once you get hit, and then now you're like, no, dude, like what? That's what it takes. You need to get hit first. Fuck that. I'll hit you in the back. And some people do that. They fucking like hit their guy in the back until they could be like kind of like, oh shit. Yeah. Because you get kind of so much into your head. But you should already be, and it's like a thing of seriousness. Yeah. Because we love it. We think it's so much fun. And we think we're so passionate about it, and then we're enjoying it. But at the end of the day, dude, your life is on the line. Yeah. Maybe not dying. You know, there is a percentage of, probability you can die. Yeah. No one has died in the cage. But there is a possibility. But, You could get your nose broken. You could get your orbital broken. You could get your jaw broken. You could break your arm. You could get your leg broken. You could get knocked the hell out, which is a severe concussion, which will change your mind. It will change your brain. Your brain has damage now. Yeah. You literally have brain damage.
Yeah.
That's permanent. That is permanent. And you need to know that those things are on the line.
Yeah.
And it's not just about fun. It's about getting in there, taking care of business, taking it serious, coming out as healthy as possible. And then you're like, fuck yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like Navy SEALs and stuff when they go, these guys that went to Venezuela.
Yeah.
I bet they had a blast because they went out there and flawless victory.
Yeah.
But during that time, they're locked in, focused, and then it's not about joking around.
Yeah.
Afterwards, yeah, for sure, they're probably, fuck yeah. But during that time, they were freaking in the zone. And you got to learn to dial in like that.
Yeah, there's only a few things in life that I like that could disconnect me from what I do here. And martial arts is one. Music.
Nice.
That's it, bro.
That's right. Music
because that's the only thing where you got to be focused or you're going to fall off, you know? You got to know sometimes.
It just takes more of your mental capacity where you can't be doing other things at the same time.
And I think that's what we like about it, you know, because I guess because of the ADH brain, because I have that same, it pulls you to be like, okay, well, this is a fucking few times that you actually focus on something and you got to be there present. Or else, like you said, it could mean your arm. It could mean you're fucking the rest of your life. It could mean walking.
Yeah, I've seen people where they don't take it seriously in the fight, and then they're kind of like, they take confidence and they turn it into cockiness. Yeah. And they think it's the same thing. And that's like, no, dude. And because cockiness, you're just not prepared. And you're trying to rely your image of you being confident. You're trying to rely on that to intimidate the other person where you can't really back that up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of people play that psychological game. People don't know that the fight starts basically when you sign the contract.
Yeah.
And people are already talking shit going back and forth. People are already studying the other opponent, trying to see videos on them, trying to see who they're training with, trying to see where they fought before, trying to see if you could see them training at practice. And then at the face-off, it's not just for the picture and try to intimidate them. Yeah. For me, at least, I'm trying to read their body language, you know, trying to feel them a little bit too.
There's a lot of telepathy there going on. It's like you can already know that he ain't ready.
Yeah, exactly. And you can feel that. And a lot of people try to play that game and act and do other stuff. And I'm just like, I don't know what you're doing, man. I feel like that, to me, that's a sign of weakness. Yeah. This last guy that I fought, at the weigh-ins, he was all laughing and smiling at me and kind of being like, and I'm like, to me, that was like, that just shot me up as in focus. Not as in like, oh, you're going to respect me now, bro. I'm not like that. Yeah. But just kind of like, okay, this guy thinks it's a joke. Sucks for him, man. Yeah. I don't think he's going to be laughing at the end of this because I'm here for this reason. I got all these reasons that there's no way I'm going to let my 8-year-old boys see me lose. Yeah. There's no way I'm going to see my pregnant wife go through like a stressful situation where I get knocked out in front of her. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're locked in. It's interesting, and thank you for sharing that stuff with us. It's almost like when I interviewed the astronaut, I was asking him those details, bro, because I was really interested. Like, all right, bro, so you fucking walk up to this elevator. It takes you up to fucking this thing. Damn. You're fucking stepping out of the elevator. What's fucking going through your head? And then so you lock in, you sit down, they put the belt on, like what's going
Houston, dial one, the switches on.
Yeah, I asked him, like when he went up, I said, what are you seeing? He's like, I'm fucking looking at the controls because I'm the engineer. My job is to make sure that everything is working, so I'm looking at all the fucking gauges.
Yeah, we're trying to romanticize it and be like, I'm there thinking, oh, nah, dude, you're not thinking.
And he's like, it's like,
you got to be on it. You got to be on it.
He's like, what you fucking go? And I'm like, what do you feel? Like, he's like, it first feels like it's going to fucking fall back. And then it fucking.
Damn, dude, that's amazing.
So right now, as you're fucking thinking of that, I'm going through that and feeling that, as you said, I'm fucking you hear the pin drop on the fucking cage.
And something that I noticed me during this fight and what I remember from the last fights, I was young, so I was like, I wanted the glory. You know what I mean? I wanted to and like, I couldn't wait to beat his ass, to jump on that cage and be like, you know. This time I had other reasons, and I like that. I still went and did that, but that wasn't the focus. That wasn't the main priority why I was doing that.
Yeah.
And I knew the risk, so I was cold as hell, dude. I was just like stoic. Nothing bothered me. Nothing, dude. It was, and I was like, damn. Once I was done, I was like, I didn't. Yeah, you feel kind of nervous, but you just kind of put yourself in this like flow state and just like dialed in, which I feel it's like what an assassin feels like, what a Navy SEAL feels like when they're doing things.
Yeah.
And like, you just got to be cold as hell. And that's what I tell people. I'm like, look, dude, right now you're being that, you're a killer, right?
Yeah.
You're being the killer that's like, the Patriot, Mel Gibson with his axe on top of that dude and just like, going crazy. Okay, cool. Or do you want to be like that one that just like comes up from behind with like a turtleneck, you know, like with a little hat and just like slits some guy's throat and just walks off like nothing? Which one do you want to be? Which kind of killer do you want to be?
Yeah.
You know, be the other one, the one that no energy, no risk, no nothing. You learn to see the opportunity, you study the situation, and you went and just got the job done.
Are you using visualization for any of that stuff? Like, or do you see yourself already winning? And
I do. I do see that all the time. During practice, I'll see myself in the bad situations and in the good. And right there, I will romanticize those things about, I'm like, oh, dude, I imagine myself like this person on top of me kicking my ass and like, I need to get up because I hear my kids yelling or something like that. And then I'll just be like in practice, just that in the moment during practice, that helps me get through the rounds or helps me keep going when I'm tired and stuff like that.
I think it's powerful, man. And that's another thing that's in a lot of the books and shit. And you're learning this on your own and stuff on it. But in a lot of the books, it talks about, you know, this whole building, I fucking sat in my yard and I thought about it before I even got here.
Damn. The studio, the offices, the conference rooms and all that stuff.
I have the note. I have a note. I wrote it down. My affirmation was acquire a $2 million facility. That was what I wrote down. And then I sat for 2 weeks in the grass, because I usually do. That's why I was asking you.
Some sort of meditation?
Honestly, it's not more of a meditation these days. More I do breathing. So I'll do like a Wim Hof breathing and shit where like you hyperventilate yourself.
But it does put you there, right?
Yeah, because and I tell people this, you know, like it's almost like where people try to get that high with like mushrooms or something like that. I'm like, you can do that to yourself just with breathing, bro. Just with oxygen.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like also how long can I hold my breath?
Yeah.
So,
and the
competitive timing, the competitive.
One of my coaches, my strength and conditioning coach had me do that. And then he's like, well, let's see how much you can hold your breath. And inside of me, I'm like, bro.
So how long did you go?
Press this guy. I don't know. I think like a minute and a half or 2 minutes, something like that. I don't remember, but to a point where I'm like, but then getting back in there and then recovering and stuff like that. I really liked it.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool.
Yeah, pushing yourself to where you almost pass out and shit. And so I do that, right? So I was sitting in the fucking grass. You can imagine me sitting there.
You said pass out and shit.
So pass out until I pass out.
But you meant to say and like stuff, pass out and like stuff like that.
Yeah, stuff like that. Pass out and shit. Shit yourself.
You got to go that route. You got to go deep.
You're not Navy SEAL. So sitting there for 2 weeks in the grass, right?
Wow.
And I'm trying to see it. And I'm like, because I'm reading the part of the book. And this is specifically, it's Laws of Success of Napoleon Hill. It's like Think and Grow Rich, but it's like the one on steroids. It's like a lot deeper in the subject. So I'm reading it and he's talking about visualization. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to fucking try this shit. I'm going to go out there and I'm just going to see if I can. So I'm sitting there and I'm not seeing it, bro. I'm like thinking it, like I want a building. I want to build, you know, I'm thinking that, but I'm not seeing it. And then I went back to the book, and then as I read over 2 weeks, it's like, well, yeah, you gotta use experiences that you've had, and then use that as your visuals. So in other words, like for the building, I had been to other people's offices that I was like, bro, this dude's fucking office is dope, you know. So I used that as my fucking blueprint. So I just kept on visualizing.
And then, but bigger here, but bigger there, but this.
Yeah,
this,
well, in my case, the building that I saw in Raw, you remember this, that we went to go shoot at Prod. I don't know if you remember. It's the building with the big windows. Doesn't the front of the building look exactly? Prod, P-R-O-D.
Oh, P-R.
It's like a corporate building and shit where they do design. And I walked in and I was like, bro, this is fucking, mine is a mini version of fucking Prod, right? Because theirs is like 40 or 50,000 square feet. But that's what I was thinking. And then for some reason, I kept on seeing me drive up. Like I didn't see it like where I'm on a main street and I just turn into the business.
Would you close your eyes, or are you just kind of
No,
like
I'll
staring out?
close my eyes, and it was during the breathing. So when I'm holding my breath, I'm visualizing this shit.
And that'll make you better at breathing because you're not focusing on the breathing. You're just kind of focusing on, well, you're not focusing on the time that you're holding your breath and stuff like that,
Well,
right?
because if you have like I have ADHD too. So as I'm breathing, I'm fucking bored. So my mind starts fucking thinking about other shit, right? So I'm like, okay, while I'm doing it, I'm gonna start visualizing this shit.
Yeah, so that other thing you're thinking about is your visualizations, not
Exactly.
about other shit that's useless.
Exactly. I'm locking into the things that I want to see. And then at some points, like when you're fucking like really hold your breath for a long time, like I would see a circle like right in the middle, and I start seeing things like from the circle to a triangle. And
Damn.
you know, like
okay.
yeah, this is like 3 minutes in.
You had
Hold your
visuals,
breath.
huh?
Yeah, like holding your breath 3 minutes.
Basically psychedelic visuals.
It's like a psych. That's what I tell people. I'm like, bro, you want to really trip? Go beyond 3 minutes. Hold your breath. Go, and so I started really seeing it, and then I just started obsessing on every time I'd sit there, I'd see it, and then one day, a year later, okay, this is how long it took. A year later, I'm shooting video here at Fred Loya's house. We're doing some pool shots at his house. I took off and I'm driving down. Things were happening where we're gonna have to move out of our building and stuff like that. So I'm driving and I see a fucking sign outside of it right here. And it says, lease or buy building, call. And I've always seen those signs. I never fucking called.
Right.
So I
River Oaks.
Yeah, right. So I pick up the phone and I call, and Sonny answers the phone, and I'm like, hey, I'm interested in learning some more information. He's like, yeah, actually, I got a building that's going to be coming up. So you want to come tomorrow? You can come. And you know, he starts telling me it's you rent for 12 months. So it gives you 12 months, you rent. And then at the 12th month, I give you 2 months window to buy. And I'm like, well, why would you do that? He's like, for capital gains. I hold the property for 12 months. Because if they build and they sell it, the tax rate is like 30 or 40%. If they hold it 12 months, it comes down to like 20%.
That makes sense.
So I'm like, okay, I looked into it. I was like, yeah, this is, all right, so tell me. So I came at night, that same night, and I stood here where it was just cement. I was fucking like tripping.
So
like,
the foundation?
It was just the foundation. I was like, bro, the thing's going to be here and the room's going to be there. And then I even went and picked up my mom. And I went and got my mom. I'm like, Mom, this is going to be my place. I'm going to get this place. I haven't even thought of how the fuck I'm going to pay for this shit. I haven't thought anything, bro.
So what, you visualize it and then you started manifesting and you started kind of like taking the first little micro steps, right?
Yeah, well, in my case, it kind of almost fell in my lap because I don't know what prompted me to pick up the phone, call. And then that night, why I would even drive out here. Like, I haven't shared this story with anybody. Like, I literally came that night. And I came by myself first. I drove around. I walked the fucking property. I was so excited. I was telling my mom, I said, I'm going to go pick you up. I want you to see this.
The moms,
yeah,
right?
So I went and got my mom. I brought my mom. I got my girl. I brought my girl. So that fucking night, I came probably like 3 times, and I was looking at the thing, and I was like, I'm sold on this shit. And then from there, little by little,
you just started figuring out?
Well, the next day, he was like, I came, and then he told me the whole things, and I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm ready to go. Like, not even... I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to go.
You thought you were ready, right?
A week later, I'm in his office and I'm signing the contract to fucking buy the property. Not really like comprehending everything that it would take.
Wow. That's amazing, dude.
But
that's an awesome story.
That's like the whole visualization shit is real, bro. And again, I go back to these books and I told you, like, I didn't start reading until I was 30. I didn't believe it. I became a firm believer on my second book, which was How to Win Friends and Influence People. By Dale Carnegie is a really, really good book too. And I read that book, and right as I was finishing up the book, I was going to ask for a raise from my boss and my job at the time, from Alan. And he's Jewish. You know, Jewish families, they're very strict with their money. And so it was like a very long shot to get a fucking raise, okay? I went in, and then the last day I changed my pitch. Because my pitch is like most people's pitch. You go in and, well, I do this and I deserve this because and I was like, but I flipped it and I said, here's what the value that I can bring to you. That was the difference in the How to Win Friends. It's not about me. It's about how I can bring value to you and how I can fit into your formula. And that's how you win friends. You know?
Oh, You win friends by teaching them or showing them the value that you could bring to them as a friend.
You fall into there because everybody, the most important subject that you love to talk about, people love to talk, is themselves, right? And so you want to figure out how you can fit into that formula, right? So you say, okay, Chris, he likes this, he likes that. You know, how can I fit into his formula to bring value to his life, right?
Right.
And as long as you can do that, you'll win friends. That's how you do it. So
that makes sense.
The last day before I went, I changed the script. I flipped the fucking script. I went in to talk to Alan.
You want, like, if you were trying to be his friend?
Not that I was trying to be his friend. I just told him, look, I feel like I can bring this value to you. Instead of saying, I do this and I do that, and you should give me a raise because I'm worth it. You know what I'm saying? So I changed the script. I went in there, and then I ended up changing my salary from $30,000 a year to over $50,000. So I almost doubled my salary.
Damn.
And after that, I was hooked, bro. I was like, okay, these books work, bro. This fucking book is real. And I'm now like 130 titles in, and I keep on. I've read books on everything, but yeah, bro, they work.
I'm excited to hopefully take my life to the next level with these books. I got my first one.
Think and Grow Rich, bro. First one.
Okay, I already got one. I started it.
Which one?
It's the first one, the Jordan Peterson's 12. What is it? 12 somethings? 12. Let me find it.
Yeah.
I don't even know the title of it.
Yeah, I've read it. I know which one you're talking about.
What is it? 12. I just bought it. I bought it on Amazon, so I'll find it quick. 12 Rules for Life.
Yeah.
I actually went
Rich
to.
Dad Poor Dad for sure.
I actually went to his seminar when he came here to El Paso.
Yeah.
And I was on the fence, not necessarily on the fence, but to me it was a sign. I was starting to kind of like, because dude, I was religiously speaking, I was like, I was even atheist for a while when I was in college and stuff, and then agnostic and theist, and then just kind of like, you know, not knowing what to do and stuff. And then I just saw he was coming to El Paso like 8 months prior to that. Yeah. And I bought the tickets for my wife and I. And dude, I was already at the gym. I had forgot that it was that day. I was already at the gym about to teach classes, and I get a little notification. Your Jordan Peterson thing is going to be starting in 2 hours or whatever. And I'm like, that's today. I'm like, shit. I'm
that
like,
happens to
JD,
me a lot.
like, dude, I forgot. He's all, dude, go. I got it. I got the classes. And I'm like, told my wife, I'm like, babe, I'm on my way. Change, get ready. Like, we're gonna, okay. And we went, and it was We Who Wrestle with God. Dude, it just changed everything for me. That you kind of have to have something that you believe in and that you worship, because everyone naturally, we worship something. So if it's not a God, like a superior being out of like this world, then it's going to end up being either yourself or your wife or money or, you know what I mean, or your children. And worshiping all those things is a problem. You can't do that. You can't worship your wife, because then you become, you know, toxic as fuck. Yeah. You can't worship your kids, because then you won't have a good relationship with your wife, because it's all about the kids. You can't worship money, because then you become, you know, this money hungry person that just screws everyone over for the money. Like that, dude. And he just goes off on that, dude. And I was like, damn. Like, it's so true, man. So,
yeah, you gotta have a why, and belief is important, man. So like throughout that whole thing that I'm telling you, the visualization, the most important thing is that you believe, because you got to believe it, man. Before.
You do.
You know, you had to believe that you were going to win your fight. You had to believe.
100%. And this is what I tell people. I'm like, about Conor McGregor. That guy believed 100% he was going to knock out Jose Aldo. He was going to win every one of those fights. He believed 100%. Yeah.
If you see his early clips on like Embedded, he was fucking reading these principles. He was reading the fucking principles in a lot of the episodes of Embedded, and he would read them to himself, you know? John Jones has talked about this shit, that he's gone down that rabbit hole and stuff, and you start to really, and yeah, bro, I'm continuing to, it's a journey. I'm a white belt at it too, but just I'm continuing.
You're probably more of a blue belt. I'm a white belt at it, at the reading and stuff like that. But I feel it's good. It's also even just the practice of reading sentences and like thoughts in like a good like a sentence format and stuff like that. Bro. Also, my mind, from all the chingazos I've received, you know, is even my ADHD is even worse. So I feel like me reading more is gonna help me kind of like organize my thoughts better.
It is. I never read. I always did audiobooks until I did a podcast in Arizona with this guy that had like 200 exotic cars, and he had like, and he was telling me that he religiously does 20 pages a day. So I left that fucking podcast, and I'm like, I'm gonna fucking do 20 pages.
What was the reasoning behind it?
He referred to me as a growth junkie. He's like, you're a fucking growth junkie. That's the problem. You're a growth junkie, and he is the same way.
Which means you're trying to grow.
You're always trying to better yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, he was always bettering himself, and he had been like to Andy Elliott's fucking house, like doing the retreats. Like he was in all of these kind of fucking things that he was doing, right? And he would do 20 pages religiously. That was his fucking deal. 20 pages a day, and 20 pages a day is hard, bro. Like, especially if you do it at night after you're tired, your eyes will get tired. So for a long time I've done it, and I still do it today. I started buying a lot of hard book. And I always, as a matter of fact, I think I have a book for you today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But, cause I gift them now. It's like one of my things that I
think that's a good gift to do, right? Especially when you read it, right? And you're like, bro, it's going to change your life.
Yes. Yeah. So,
and if it does, damn, they'll remember that you're the one that got them on that.
I mean, I still remember this guy. He told me the 20 pages per day. That's why I was like, bro, I'm going to try 20 pages a day. So I'm going to do 20, and then I'm going to do my audio books too. Like I'm like,
even more, 20. I'm going to take it to the next level.
Yeah, bro. And you'll learn that through Napoleon Hill, that's a natural fucking thing that us humans do. We always try to up people, you know?
I've learned that through little kids. Have you seen when little kids do things repetitively?
Yeah.
When you make them do things repetitively, they're trying to do it. They'll do it like at this rate, like the patty cake stuff.
Yeah, yep.
Right, and then they're like,
and then they come and try to show you like, I'll do it fucking fast, Chris.
So they break.
Yeah,
they do that with a lot of things.
Yeah,
like, and I think that, like how you said, it's a natural thing.
And that's us. We do that as humans, bro, almost to the death.
You try to do it faster and faster and faster and faster and faster and faster.
Dale Carnegie, there was another steel magnet, and he would always be competing against him. And then one day, the fucker built a high-rise building. So the other dude went and built a bigger one, and supposedly he went crazy.
Because he was always trying to one-up that other guy.
Yeah. So that's also something we have to it's almost like your ego, right?
It is your ego,
for
sure.
But it's like a normal, natural thing that humans do.
Because we also need our ego, or else we wouldn't do shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We want to be competitive, and we want to believe in ourselves too. I feel that's ego too.
The reason he says that he does it is goes back to our DNA from fucking when we're primitive. We would do that because that was the way that you got a mate.
Of course.
You know?
Always back to sex.
Yeah.
So drives us all, bro. Why do you want this building, bro?
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, so that's what it all comes back to. It's like a lot of primitive stuff that we do things like that because it was the way, it was the person that showed up the best, got the best mate and stuff.
Those birds that collect all the blue things and they put in their nest.
They do the dance.
And then they do the dance and shit.
Yeah, it's all tied back to that. Hoist Gracie told me that. I mean, Horion Gracie told me that. He says, we only exist to eat, to reproduce, and I think there was one more. So,
who cares about the other one?
Yeah, Horion Gracie had told me that.
I definitely do believe that is the reason why we are here, is to reproduce. Yeah. We definitely. And so when I hear people, especially now my generation and stuff, like, no, dude, kids aren't for me, and then they don't have kids. I'm like, bro, you have no idea what you're saying, dude. Yeah. It just it gives your life so much purpose. It makes you realize, be more like in tune with like nature and like how this is nature, like watching your wife become, the woman that she is, and then watching her give birth, how like natural that really is. But we're like so out of touch with that too, you know what I mean? So having that just gives you like a real more raw perspective, and then seeing your kids grow, develop, and then with having kids, for me, I started to remember how I was as a kid, where stuff that I forgot already. And then I see my kid doing things and I'm like, I remember that. And then I'll be like a kid again a little bit, kind of doing stuff, and then reminding myself how I learned things or what to do. And then also I got fascinated with giving them new experiences in the most simple way. Oh, they've never seen a chicken before, and then like having a chicken, and then them being like, what the hell is this? Well, imagine it. Imagine right now to this day, boom, someone comes in like,
because those are the moments that you remember.
this animal that you've never seen before in your life, and you're just like, holy seeing my kids when one of my kids started walking because he saw a donkey at the maze, at the Union Maze. Yeah. Dude, he literally got up and like walked as fast as he could to the fence, and he was just like, and I just saw him, dude, and I was tripping on that. I was like, look at this. He's like, just imagine showing up somewhere and there's like a dinosaur, you know what I mean? And you're just like, holy shit. And you see like breathing and shit. Dude, that just fascinated me. And then you kind of like learn to, you know, appreciate the little things in life and not just be so caught up in all this other stuff. That's what it's about, bro.
Like, that's what I've learned.
And kids teach you that, dude. Man. I feel, for me, kids taught me that. Yeah. Having kids taught me that.
Yeah, my kids have taught me that. The business has taught me that. Like, as far as like all this thing that I've been chasing, sometimes you're like, what the fuck am I so much like?
There's a saying that I heard. It's like, if you would look back at like 10 years from now, you would notice that what you're doing now is what you dreamt of doing 10 years ago. So it's like, why aren't you like, enjoy it too, you know? Exactly. Don't be caught up in the next step.
Yeah, that remember that the fucking work you have today and the stress you have is the fucking...
what you dreamed of having.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But even then, like, the life that you have is what you dreamed about having before, and then now that you have it, you're worried about the other stuff too. Yeah. And then it goes back to being in the moment. Aubrey Marcus, you ever heard of that guy? He was the owner of On It. He's one of the guys that I remember him saying that we have two demons in our lives, and it's the past and the future. Yeah. And they're there and stuff, but at the end of the day, they don't exist. Yeah. They're not real. You know what I mean? The past is not, where is it? You know, it's only in your mind, and the future is as well. So you got to learn to find times to be in the moment as much as possible. And that's why I think fighters and athletes, like pro athletes and stuff like that, are the happiest, because once you find that being in the moment, that's kind of like one of the most defined ways of what happiness is, you know, being in the moment. You know what I mean? When you're like in love with your wife, you're just in the moment, you're not thinking of anything else. Yeah, shit's simple. It's the most when you're just with your kid, living this moment. And then in sports, you gotta be in the moment. Yeah. And they are in the moment more often than anyone else in life. We're always thinking about the future, what we gotta do before, and then be 2 steps ahead and 3 steps ahead and this and that, and what am I gonna do this, and when is the payment of this and this and that. And then also the other people that are depressed, it's like, oh man, I did that, and then fuck, or why'd they do that to me? And then I'm never gonna forget that shit. Dude, it's in the past. Let it go. So it's either you're depressed or you got anxiety.
Yeah. When I'm starting to feel like that, like anxious, that's why I do the grounding and the breath work. Because when I'm there, I'm looking at the fucking grass and I'm just running my finger through the grass. I'm looking at the fucking sky and feeling the fucking breeze, and bro, it's like.
And how blessed we are with
exactly,
what we have.
Bro. It's just like a big thing of gratitude that I'm like, thank God, bro, that I've got all this, you know. And it's just coming back to that simplicity. It's just us that put all this value to things. Like, oh, I really need to make this, because if I don't, like, who cares, bro? I got to the point, like, towards the end of this building, and I said, I don't even care anymore, bro, if we make it or not. If this building comes, if it doesn't, who cares, bro? It's just all shit that I made up in my mind.
And then that's when it comes. That's when it
comes, bro, when you stop stressing about it. It's just like a peace that comes over you.
And then you're just like, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It was going to happen.
You got to have that you know, that again, we can repeat it over and over. That's why the martial arts, I think, teaches you that shit, because there's so many metaphors for life. But yeah, I think it's like you said, it's just starting to learn. Just like you said, just watching my kids see something. And that to me, bro, is worth more than fucking $1 million, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
That's where I'm at in my life too. It's like, all right, well, money's important because you need it for the freedom and stuff like this. But really, what does bring me happiness, right? It's not all that shit. It's just those little things. It's seeing my kid.
Yeah. Now, what's coming to mind right now is we just went to Disneyland for New Year's. We did the Disneyland, California Adventure, Universal Studios, all the fast passes, so you don't want to wait in line, all that crap. And it goes to what I'm saying, look at the bright side of things, right? Or like the positive side of things. I was just kind of like against it, because I hate the whole it's this much, which is expensive. But if you want to not wait in line, it's this much more. And then once you get out of the show, they have the little toy right there, or this toy, and it's like so much, and then it's just like that, and then you're hungry, the food's right. It's like they're just like cha-ching, 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 and then there we are in lines, getting everything, everyone with their Mickey Mouse hat and their Mickey Mouse shirt and their Mickey Mouse this and their Disney this and Disney that. There we are, just all of us like sheep, and I'm just like, God damn it, I hate being a part of that. And my wife and her family, they are all about it. Yeah. They love Disneyland, dude. And I'm like, damn, well, I'm like, this is why I'm married, right? Like, I got to jump on and like feel. And now I'm thinking about, at the end of the day, the real reason is those rides, you're in the moment. Yeah. You're like, during the roller coaster, you're just like, and living the moment, enjoying the wind, enjoying the speed, and enjoying the colors. And
and
it's
that's
more
the
being
pity
in the
part
moment.
is that we were talking about, Chris, because you're so hard on yourself that you can't just enjoy those moments sometimes, bro.
Who did I speak to about that recently?
That hits me a lot, bro.
Yeah.
And I've had times when I'm real
I
frustrated.
feel guilty. I feel guilty when
yeah.
I'm enjoying.
Yeah.
When I'm like,
the same way.
I'm going,
Yeah.
dude, I'm like, damn, I shouldn't be doing that. I shouldn't be spending. Like, I should be working on this. I should be going and doing this. God, man, I learned that the first time I went on a trip with some friends to Colombia, and we were out there. I was like, fuck it, I'm going to do it. We're out there partying. And I noticed that was the first trip I had ever taken just out of pleasure by myself. I had done the whole going to a wedding, going to a family reunion, to people's birthdays, tournaments, and then take advantage that I'm competing out here in San Francisco. So I'm going to go to the San Francisco Bridge, and then, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. But this time I went on this trip for the first time ever at like, what it was like 30, 20? Yeah, no, it was like 3 years ago. So it was like 32. Yeah. Just cause I wanted to go out there and party. And I felt guilty. I was like, ah. And then I came back and, okay, nothing happened. Everything was fine. The business kept going. Everybody went to classes. Everyone kept working out. Everyone still showed up. Everything. Where you just feel like the day I stop looking at my business, everything's going to fall apart.
Yeah, they say you got to be in always constant panic, right, to keep your business going. But yeah, I have that issue too sometimes. But I'm finding myself, like I said, I find it and I identify it quicker. Like I'm stressed and, you know what, just go over there. My son's trying, Dad, come on, play with me. Like, you know, and then I go and then I'm like, you know what, bro? Yes. I'm not going to get this moment back again, no matter how tired I am, no matter how. And then I just reframe my brain and get back out there. And then like, all right, let's enjoy this, bro.
Exactly.
Let's enjoy this and just do this. Because, yeah, we don't know, right?
And you kind of have to learn to be able to criticize yourself, like in third person kind of thing. Like look back and be like, assess the situation and then go back in there, right? And then notice that, like, hey, like learn to accept your mistakes, identify your mistakes, and then, you know, move on with it.
Yeah, well, it's taking that mentality that I was telling you, like there is no off button, right? And you're obsessed because you want to be the best. And that's the only way I got to this point that I did. But then having that moment where you're like, all right, bro, I got to fucking, it's all right to take a few hours or a day, you know? Just
for me, it was a week.
For a fucking week.
And I look at it and it was worth it, you know, watching all of us meet. It was 19 of us, dude. It was freaking awesome. Yeah. We all went as a family, watching my kids enjoy it. And then they're living life in the moment. You know what I mean?
That's
more than anything. If there's anything we should learn from kids, it's live life in the moment.
Absolutely. I can stay talking to you about martial arts
too.
and fucking philosophy
About
type
everything.
shit all day, bro. But I wanted to also talk about it a little bit. I know we were talking about what's going on right now with our country and all this kind of shit.
My wife asked me if I was going to go talk politics. I'm like, no, it's not going to be that. I'm like, dang. Dude, it's scary.
Well, as a father, you know, and you think about all this stuff that's changing and AI that's changing shit and where are we going to be? What is it going to, you know, are we going to end up being slaves to robots or what's going on, Chris?
I feel like eventually we are, right? I feel we already are. Look at it with our phones. It's an extension of our hands, bro. We can't live life without, you know, looking at it.
My phone is telling me, my watch is telling me stand up, bro.
There you go. See? God damn. Really? Oh,
yeah, I did.
They do have that, right?
Yeah.
I've fought not getting an Apple Watch for the same reason, bro. Because I don't want to be more connected to it. But then my reason would be like, Yeah, but then that way I don't check my phone because it'll just
Yeah.
show me on here. But now
Yeah.
I feel like it's.
What do you think
the
about?
opposite.
I know Joe Rogan. They was on the news. I don't know if you saw. He was on the news because he was going against this whole thing about how ICE is going about it. The biggest thing is the thing that happened in Minneapolis with the girl, the American getting shot, right, and everything like that. And you're split. I have friends that are in law enforcement, family that is in law enforcement, and I know that side of the coin too. But Joe Rogan was speaking up because he's like, where have we gotten to, bro? That people are running up on people with fucking masks, and we're in America. Like judges don't wear masks, cops don't wear masks.
I think they started to look into legislation into not letting them wear masks. But see, I understand that because I have students that are like federal agents and stuff like that, and they aren't for this.
Yeah,
But it's their job.
absolutely.
So they have to do it.
Yeah.
And they just don't want to, you know what I mean? Because also if they go and do it during the day and then at the end they come to jiu-jitsu class and the guy that they know is like, there, stuff like that just creates problems. Yeah. It's not that they're trying to get away with more. It's just like, they have a real life too. They are humans too. They are people too. You know what I mean? And they're not like these crazy, racist dudes that are like, oh, there's an ice position. I'm going to go I want to be ice. And then, all right, here you go, bro. Put on this mask. Go get him. It's not like that at all, So.
And it's similar to like in a combat, like sometimes shit is split second, right? And something happens, a car's coming at you.
Yes, and this is what I tell people often. It's like, dude, when a cop goes and shoots somebody in the situation, I'm like, dude, that cop was also scared. Don't act like he's like in this fucking high and he wanted to shoot him. That guy's scared out of his fucking mind too that this big ass dude is trying to come at him or not listening to his commands. And he knows now as his job that he has to arrest this guy. So when he puts his hands on him, this guy starts trying to fight back. And he knows that this guy might fuck him up. So he pulls out his gun as he was trained to do. And then once you pull it out and then you give commands and then they still coming at you, now your life is threatened. Now you got to do it. You know what I mean? And people don't understand that.
No, man, it's easy to criticize from the stands, right?
It's like, dude, it's scary, man. They're scared too.
Yeah. It's a
the whole ice thing, man. It's just that situation. I don't like to watch people get shot, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like that stuff, oh man, it's so sad, it's horrible. And the situation that happens, it's just like, oh man, what was that lady doing? I also saw some video of her kind of being like a Karen for a while and going crazy. It's like, oh man, what is she doing too? Like, and
that's why I would tell people, you got 4 or 5 guys pointing guns at you.
Yeah.
And you want to turn up and start, that's only going to trigger them.
And for what? What were you going to change?
I was hearing a podcast last night that they were saying that the officer that was involved, that he had been dragged by a car weeks before.
See?
And so there was some type of...
Yeah, he's like, that's not going to happen again.
Yeah. There was something that...
Because my life is at danger, because it is.
Yeah.
And it's horrible, man.
Yeah, it's a terrible situation.
And then
last night another situation happened too there as well.
They're gonna keep, and now people are getting more encouraged to fight back, or not fight back, but get involved and be like. And I get it too. This is also the American way: speak up and freedom of speech, and go out there and fight for what you believe in. I get that too. You know what I mean? It's just like, damn. So we're kind of have like this revolutionary mentality too. Maybe they think that they're starting this revolution to fight back against Trump, but that's all propaganda too, because Obama and Bill Clinton and them, they deported millions or more than Trump ever has. But that's something that Trump ran on. And it's also something that was a problem, dude. There was 15,000 people coming into this country on a daily basis without any vetting process.
And I think some people maybe misunderstand it too, because they think they're just going after everybody. But it's like,
he's racist. He hates the Mexicans. It's like, dude, that's an old argument. I have an uncle that lives in Mexico, and he always tells me that he's a racist. It's because we got KKK. I'm like, he's not KKK, dude. If anybody was KKK, it was Biden. He was over here talking at the funeral of one of the KKK guys. He was like really close to them, and he's like in Congress talking about racist shit, and no one says that.
My older uncle, he was telling me. During Christmas, because it was warm in El Paso. He's like, global warming, it's Trump, man.
It's Trump's fault. And then second of all,
warming up the planet.
and then second of all, now you look into that, and that's not even a thing. It's not even real anymore, bro. They're going back on all that shit. Bill Gates that was saying all this, environmental, and now he's on the other side of things. Now he's like,
it's hard because we've got so many messages being shot out, and what do we believe?
Dude,
and so
it's bad.
I've gotten used to saying, I've got to look deeper into the situation before I talk on it, because there's so much. But yeah, for officers, man, you got to put yourself in their point. They're being spit at, being,
and they're people too. They have breaking points too, and it's like, but it's unlawful and this and that. And it's just, and this is like a more very, very basic analogy that I could kind of correlate with this. It's if you're crossing the street on a crosswalk, you still got to look both fucking ways and not be like, well, I have the right of way. And then you see the kids nowadays, they go through the crosswalk and they're walking with their phones. Bro, it's your life at danger. Yeah, but he should stop. And if he doesn't, when you die, what are you going to do? Are you going to say, hey, but it wasn't my fault. Okay, yeah, it wasn't your fault. You're still dead. Whether that ICE thing is morally correct or wrong, it's legally correct or wrong. Okay, then go through legislation, be an activist, talk to your congresswoman, talk to your senator. Don't go out there and put your life on there, and then now they shoot you, and then, see, that was unlawful. Yeah, but now you're dead. And now your kids don't have a mom.
That's what that lady did. She tried to handle things there on the moment. I'm going to just drive off. Yeah. Because I'm going to handle it now.
And then because I don't listen to you because I have my rights. And then now you got shot.
Yeah.
And then what? Say she lived, okay, and then she's paralyzed or something, or she has brain damage and stuff. Okay, cool. Was it worth it?
Yeah. Yeah, and there's both sides of the story where they're saying, well, the tires were turned and she wasn't really going to hit. And they, it's just like.
It's easy to say now.
Yeah.
It's easy to say now.
But go put on that uniform.
In the moment. Yeah, and I see the video, and then I was like, it didn't look like she was going to hit him. And it's just like, damn, and he did. But then he has PTSD. Dude, PTSD is a thing. Yeah. PTSD is
They were saying that because if he had that, he shouldn't have been on the thing. I mean, should have.
Okay. Yeah. You're probably right. Yeah. But then it goes into who set the schedule. And then it's like, okay, cool. So
who's to blame here?
Yeah, who's to blame?
The thing is, bro, is that we're not perfect as humans. We make mistakes all the time. People make mistakes, and it could just be a bad day. It could be all sorts of shit, man. They just got a really tough job, bro.
And why put yourself at that in that risk to see if he's gonna do things correct or not?
I mean, in the future, are people gonna want to be cops or be ICE agents?
At least they're getting paid for it.
Yeah.
No, dude. And the more and more that happens, like the whole Black Lives Matter thing when that shit was going on. Imagine being a cop during that era, dude.
Yeah.
Golly.
Yeah, you had to put up with it, and then Biden wasn't supporting.
And Kamala wasn't supporting either. They were paying people that got arrested. They were paying their bailouts to get them out of jail and go and do it again.
Yeah.
The hell?
It's just tough, man. It's tough. I think nobody's gonna be satisfied. We're never satisfied, right? It goes back to that thing that we were just talking about. Yo, you got a Yeti. I need a Yeti this tall. You're never gonna be satisfied.
But I feel it also goes with that victim mentality and the people that are always seeking empathy. It's like poor them, and then also that the government is gonna come and save your day.
Yeah.
Save your life, make your life better for you. It's not, no, dude. You're in it for yourself. You worry about the people, your homies, your families around you. Yeah. Do what's best for you. Help each other out.
We just recently did this little segment where we're going around downtown asking. It's a project with the city. And one of the questions is, do you think there's opportunity here in El Paso? And every person, 90% people are like, there's no opportunities. That's why we got to move out. We got to go.
That is a big El Paso thing.
We got to move out. We got to go to San Antonio or somewhere else because there's no opportunities here. And one dude said, I think opportunities are created. Like, you got to create the opportunity. And I was like, bro, I love you say what you're saying right now. Like, this is exactly the difference of the mentality that we need to have.
That's what I see when people say, there's nothing to do in El Paso. Boom, there's an opportunity for you now. You bring it to El Paso.
Yeah.
You do this to El Paso. That's why I started these tournaments. And
I was about to segue to that because you're always creating.
You got to, man. And it's just like, instead of being like, oh, well, we don't have that in El Paso, so let's just not do it. It's like, well, you be the one that does it.
Yeah.
And I started the tournaments for that reason. And then something that I was explaining to someone recently is like, I keep zooming out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I started with me Started jiu-jitsu. I loved it. And then I wanted my cousin to do it. Dude, come, you got to do this shit. Come. And he started doing it too. And he's a black belt now too.
Yeah.
Luis Padron.
Yeah.
And then I wanted my homies to do it. Sammy, he's one of the coaches at the gym, also black belt. I wanted my other homies to do it. And then from there, I wanted to be teaching that so I could get more people to come to class. And then I got the gym. And then I had different types of classes. And then I started getting all these fighters and competitors and stuff. And then we needed to go out of town, but always just out of town to compete. And that's tough, you know what I mean? Like, people are trying to dabble with what jiu-jitsu is and, see if they like it and learn from it. And then to do that, you got to invest money in like hotel, travel fees, and then to go and compete and lose 2 matches real quick. That would suck. Yeah. So I'm like, damn, we need to bring this here to El Paso. So I started doing Desert Jiu-Jitsu Championships. And then I wanted everyone to do jiu-jitsu. And then it's like, also because I had my school, I wanted everyone to be doing jiu-jitsu at my school. And then I'm like, okay, well, my way of doing things isn't for everybody. Yeah. The tournament is helping all the other schools too now grow because they have stuff to look forward to set goals to do. So now their students are showing up to practice with a purpose because they got a tournament next month. And then now I feel, no one has told me anything. I have seen the schools have all grown. And I feel like I have some little, had something to do with it, with my tournaments. Yeah. And then I learned that jiu-jitsu isn't for everybody, but martial arts is. So you got to find your martial art. Jiu-jitsu, I don't like that shit because this sweaty dude on me and that's gross and I don't want to. Or other guys, dude, I don't like that hugging shit. That's gay, bro. Fucking hit. All right, well, get in boxing then. Yeah. Do kickboxing. Do Muay Thai. Yeah. Do karate. Do Taekwondo. You know what I mean? So there it is. From one individual to my little inner circle to a little bit more of a circle to my community, as in my school, and then to all the schools with a tournament, and then now bringing tournaments to El Paso because that shit wasn't going on. To now the expo, which is now not just jiu-jitsu anymore. Now it's all the martial arts.
Yeah, tell us about the expo. Tell us about the Texas Martial Arts Expo that you created.
So it's really cool because we envision, like how we were talking about envisioning. Yeah. The year before last year, we did the tournament at Pebble Hills High School. Pebble Hills High School. We had done it there for a few years. And I had one of my guys, Noah, that's now in 10th Planet Austin. He was recording, making a video, like the whole thing. And I'm like, dude, I want you to also get not just the hype and the competitors and stuff like that, but also like the behind the scenes kind of thing. So he was getting us setting up and talking, and kind of like The Office, Yeah. And then he was like, so what'd you think, Chris, about this year? I'm like, I freaking love this and that, but think about this. Next year, this is my goal. And I'm like, all these martial arts together, the Martial Arts Expo, where you have jiu-jitsu, karate, taekwondo, boxing, MMA, all together. That's what's going to be next year. That's what I'm trying to do. And then bam, this past year, this September, we made it happen. Wow. Dude, it's awesome. Something that I heard Steve Jobs say, people don't know what they want until they see it. Yeah. Because it's always like when you have a product and stuff, or you want to put out a product, you want to put what people want. Yeah. And they're not going to tell you what they want. Yeah. Or else you're already behind because everyone else is already doing it. Yeah. You have to show them what they want, and then they're like, I want that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So we put that expo together, and it only makes sense because everyone that does martial arts understands. Yeah. Like, even though you're boxing, you see jiu-jitsu guys doing it, you're like, oh, I see it. If jiu-jitsu guys, you see taekwondo guys, oh, shit, you see and then you have that respect. So everybody was like, oh, shit, a martial arts expo? There's jiu-jitsu tournament, karate tournament, which is like that continuous fighting, the kickboxing, taekwondo tournament, which taekwondo is just like karate, just only legs though, only you can't punch. And then MMA fights, what? MMA fights at the same time in the cage? And then, and amateur boxing. Yeah. All at the same time. All 5 events at the same time going on at the Coliseum. Bro, we had over 1,000 competitors. Could you believe that? 1,000 competitors. Wow. And around 4,000 spectators. Wow. It was packed, bro. We did not, we had my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law at the front with the tickets. We're like, hey, we need someone in the front. Who do you trust? This and that. Yeah, I'll get my mom, my tia to do it too, and this and that. And so I had them too. And then Laco from Alchemy Karate had his aunt and somebody else doing it from the karate school, like one of the moms or something like that. I can't remember. Bro, we needed more people. I walk out, they're like, hey, I'm like, how come nobody's here yet? Dude, there's a line, if you've been to the Coliseum, wrapped around, dude, around the Coliseum, a line, dude, long as I was like, holy shit. I was like, we had to solve that problem right there. I'm like, dude, this is gonna take forever. Cause we had 4 people in the front just kind of like, oh, here with a square and shit like that, like charging and stuff. You already bought tickets because we got pre-sales. You're going to start over here. We're going to start a different line and just, but it was freaking amazing. We hit the nail on the head, how they say, right? And it was freaking amazing, dude. I would be running around with walkie-talkies. I was like, oh, we got to do this. We got to go. Oh, I need help over here. Hey, Chris, I need help over here. And then in the middle of everything, I'll be like, hold on. And I'd go up into the stands and I'll be like, what the heck did we just do, bro? And it was packed. And then the stands, all just from an idea. Because I used to work at the LA Fit Expo in LA where the Gracie tournaments would be a part of. But that is a monster compared to what we did because they would have the LA Convention Center, like the huge, if you've ever been to it, it's a huge expo where it's like, and then it's like bikini contests, NPC, the bodybuilding, the CrossFit games. And then there's like all these hundreds of booths of all these different supplement companies and clothing brands and all this stuff all going on at the same time. And then inside of that was the Gracie tournaments. So I understood that vibe and that vibe was amazing, bro. It's beautiful. It's just all these fitness people walking around and just like fighters walking around. And all that. So that vibe to me was like surreal. And then we started doing the Live Fit EP Fitness Expo here in El Paso with Mark Duchesne from Elevate and Shane and Lizzie from what is it, Sun City Athletic Club, I think it's called now, on the west side. And we used to do the same thing pretty much. And that's how my jiu-jitsu tournament started. It started there. We did our first year, I don't remember the year, but we did it outside on Franklin Street, behind the Chihuahua Stadium. The Chihuahua Stadium was barely finished. San Jacinto Plaza was still like, getting built and stuff. And then now, 10 years later, dude, we got the Martial Arts Expo now.
That is crazy. That's going to go down this year, 2026.
It's going to happen every single year now. September. So now we had other events hit us up. They're like, dude, we want to be a part of this. A wrestling tournament wants to be a part of it, and a judo tournament wants to be a part of it now. It's like, damn, how are we going to make this work now? We need to add more days. And so I think we're going to do it on that, what is it, Labor Day or Memorial Day? I can't remember, in September. The 2-day weekend thing. So it's a 3-day weekend. So it's a 2-day event, Saturday and Sunday. So we could add those other things.
That's amazing, man. And excited to see where this goes. And I see it, man, continuing to go back and possibly go back to the convention and maybe even...
I don't know, man. The Coliseum really works. If anything, it would be Don Haskins or something, just because the stadium seats is good. You could sit down and see everything. Yeah. If you're walking around, we used to do the Fit Expo at the convention center, and that was great and fun, and it's a nice venue. But I feel
you got to walk to the other side.
Yeah, and you can't see. Yeah, you can see what's going on over there. Yeah. Stadium seats, we saw everything.
Everything is ground level and stuff like that. Man, well, there's a lot there, Chris. I think that you guys are going to continue to grow with that. Anything that you're part of it, man. Everything that since the first day I met you, you put your mind to something, you get to it. So
thank you, Ro.
Man,
it's that mindset, right?
For sure, man. Yeah. So I can stay here talking to you, but I know we've been. What have we been running, Orlando?
Almost 15 to 2 hours.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, damn. So it's all right. I'm good with it.
Me too, man. I could keep talking forever. I love this.
Yeah, man. So one other thing I want to touch on, and I think it's amazing too, man, is just to highlight all the talent that has come out of El Paso in the martial arts industry. Here,
Stephanie Han just beat Holly Holm.
Yeah, amazing. Which we hope to have her.
You gotta have her on there. She's
podcast.
The Hans are like a pinnacle of like martial arts in El Paso.
Absolutely.
Sure. Because she has her sister, so it's Jennifer Han or Stephanie Han,
her brother, and
then her brother AB Han, which is also like a badass kickboxer and wrestler and stuff like that.
Yeah,
dude, those guys are amazing, right?
Yeah,
and dude, we do have talent here in El Paso, and that's why I started the tournaments thing. It's like we just need to get seasoned.
Yeah,
we just need to have more traffic.
We've got the next people that you're starting to brew.
Bro. We got that Mexican blood in us. That's like. That's got balls.
Yeah, man. What makes a Mexican fighter?
I feel it has to do kind of like with a little bit of, you could related to like kind of like little man syndrome, kind of we have to prove ourselves. That's always been like the thing in any sport. Like, oh, the Mexican runner, Ana Guevara, it's like, damn, the one just I came from nowhere and like there's no, and she's coming out here and winning. And you know, like just kind of like the underdog. Mexicans they'll feed off of that.
Yeah, being the underdog,
Being
man.
the underdog.
I'm gonna prove you guys wrong.
Exactly, that kind of thing.
That's badass, man. And there's been some other people, like I know you trained for many years with Andy. And
Andy Varela's killing it right now.
What Andy's done has been fucking amazing and has been...
he's world class, man. He's one of the top ranked grapplers in the world.
Yeah.
He's now for the UFC BJJ. He's signed for the UFC, with the UFC for the UFC BJJ. He's been killing it. He's amazing. He's an amazing athlete, man.
And you guys started pretty much in the same gym, right?
Yeah, he started as a white belt under me, all the way to brown belt, then moved to Vegas. And then from there, his career took off exponentially.
Yeah, absolutely. I see it, and I'm proud of the culture and the people that we've brought here, and what you're doing. I'm always trying to sell El Paso, man, because people always count us out, or they're like, yeah,
I feel the only reason why is just we're like geographically secluded from everywhere else.
Yeah.
San Antonio has like Austin 45 minutes away. Dallas has like all these other little cities around it. Houston, like, you know what I mean? And Arizona has Tucson and like stuff like that. Anything we have close to El Paso is 4 hours away. Albuquerque, Tucson, Midland, Chihuahua, everything's 4 hours away. We're like in the middle of nowhere by ourselves.
And
with Las Cruces.
When you pitch El Paso to people, what do you tell people about El Paso that's great about El Paso?
I feel it's that small town mentality. People are very nice to each other. You know, everyone kind of knows everyone and who anyone is. And that we're growing, man. We're growing a lot. We have Juarez. That's what I tell people. I'm like, dude, Juarez on the other side of the border, because there's people, I don't know about you guys, but there's people that have never been to Juarez and they live in El Paso their whole life.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, El Paso has like, 700,000 population?
Yeah.
Juarez is like about 2 million. Did you know that? It's like 3 times the size of El Paso. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, you've never been there?
Yeah.
And like, I think El Paso, Juarez area is like the biggest border metroplex area in the world kind of thing.
Yeah. You grew up in El Paso?
I was born and raised, yeah.
And your parents?
My mom is from Juarez, and my dad is from Mexico City.
Yeah. My dad is from Juarez. My mom was born here, but her parents as well, second generation from that side. But there's a lot of connection between back and forth. And obviously I had my abuelita, Maui from Juarez, and so that culture is here, man, and
It's definitely here.
Yeah,
man.
and I love it. And but what do you consider yourself since you grew up here? I ask this question a lot.
You know what? Forever I consider
like Latino, Chicano.
Technically, I would be a Chicano, right? Yeah. Technically, I don't know. I Mexican American. You know, I feel I consider myself, I'm like full, like blood wise. If you were to take my blood out, I'm from Mexicans. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, my dad is half Spaniard. My grandmother was born in Spain from my dad's side. But, you know, the culture-wise and stuff like that, I'm more Mexican. I know I have an American side to me because I was born over here and raised, and I am different than people like my cousins and stuff from Juarez.
Yeah.
Speaking-wise and just like culture-wise, it is different, even though we're so close. It is different, but I'm also proud of being, you know, an American. You know what I mean? I feel like this is the land of opportunity.
Yeah, bro.
And I put myself like, say I lived this life and try to go the jiu-jitsu route in Mexico, I don't feel I would be where I am at now.
Yeah.
As economically, financially, you know, as I am here now.
Yeah, we're very lucky, and you know, we do have those roots, but that's that Chicano part, right, or that part that's the American side of us.
Yeah, and I'm proud of that, dude. I'm proud. I used to be like, no, I'm Mexican. And then like all those people that are like here, and then they're like, no, dude, I'm not American. It's like, bro, what?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like, you should be proud of what we can have.
They're not proud, and they want to just throw up the Mexican flag. And I'm like, yeah, bro, but you know, you live here. Your responsibilities are here.
I've fought for
you owe a lot.
Yeah, I fought for Mexico, and but that at the end of the day, when I fight for Mexico, I fought in Bolivia once, and I represented Mexico, and that when I came out with the flag and stuff, was more so for my family.
Your parents and showing respect to your
yeah.
family
and like
stuff.
my roots.
Yeah.
And I get that, and I'm
Yeah.
a proud Mexican, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm proud that I live here, man.
Yeah.
I feel so blessed, so lucky.
Yeah, we're lucky.
And yeah, I'm proud of. I mean, the way the government and everything's going on now, who knows? It's scary, but yeah, I think we're very blessed.
Yeah.
And there's
Yeah.
no other country like this.
Yeah. Do you think we're eventually, and I know I asked you this, do you think eventually there's going to be some kind of invasion or some kind of
Hope
beef
not.
with Mexico
No.
in basically our backyard?
No, I don't think so. I mean, there's just some. I mean, the U.S. is corrupt as hell too, right? We all know. All the governments. I feel it's nature for us to be corrupt, and this is what I mean by corrupt. I get a position somewhere, and then if I have the opportunity to give somebody a position, I'm gonna look for my homies first.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be a little bit more lenient for my homies and my families to get that position as opposed to someone else that may be a little bit more qualified. That's corruption.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then if you could get away with like taking some money and stuff like that, some people might do that for their family. You know what I mean? And that's corruption. And I feel like that's why I'm a guy of like the smaller the government, especially the federal government, the better. The better. Because it's just like
Too many
bigger
hands
and bigger and bigger.
yeah.
Yeah, dude. Now everybody works for the government now. And it's just like, crap, there's so much diplomacy and politics to be able to
there's a
get
lot of
anything
bureaucracy.
done and bureaucracy.
That's the problem, man. We don't get shit done, and it's frustrating. That's why our business is literally like 1% of dealing with government contracts, just because of the fucking bureaucracy and the red tape that it takes, and it frustrates the shit out of me. And I'm like, bro, we're not being effective and efficient. This is why I went to run my own fucking business.
Exactly. And yeah, it's been known that, the government isn't always the most efficient, isn't the efficient way of getting things done. It's the private sector that gets things done.
Yeah.
Look at Elon Musk with the rockets. NASA can't do it. And they were spending billions and they have all this budget of billions and billions and billions and billions. And then Elon Musk did it in like the most efficient way and like successful.
Yeah.
But what I was going with is like, so there's corruption in Mexican government, and then I feel like what's going on is Trump is scaring the Mexican government because they're very tied into this whole cartel thing. Of course they are. And I don't know about how like beneficial it would be for the U.S. to go in there, like invade, or it's not like we're not going to invade and like take their country, but like to go in there and like take out all these cartel members or top guys, because it's just going to be like in the Middle East, create this vacuum of power because the demand is still there. People are still going to be consuming
Still
all these
resources
drugs
and still
all the time, and they're still going to want to get these drugs. So now who's going to put it? They have some sort of organization, you know what I mean? So, and then you take them out. Now there's going to be a power grab, kind of like war of who's going to take power now. Now there's going to be all this crime going on more. So it's like, I don't know if you want to do that either, man. So they should just legalize all drugs.
Yeah, sometimes
Maybe not all of them, right? Like,
I mean, well, look at what happened.
crack and like heroin, and shit, but
Yeah, no,
but like all the
definitely
other
not.
ones, like legalize it and then just regulate it better, I guess. And that's kind of like they might be what the Mexico is doing, like underneath the table. But
I think it goes deeper than that because of the fentanyl and all that stuff. It comes from China.
and it's coming from China.
That's why I think they're stepping in, because they're like, okay, that's creating a connect. That's getting into the back.
And it's also killing people. It's not just
Yeah.
like, oh, it's making them addicted. No, they're dying.
Yeah.
like that quickly.
That was the thing that blew my mind when I started diving in, and I did a seminar in AI and started diving deep. I realized that it's deeper than just like, oh, it's technology and innovation. This is a struggle for power, like a big power.
Right. That's why U.S. is like on a
Yeah.
race. It's like a Cold War. Or no, what do they call it? Like the race.
Yeah,
It's like a race against China to
Yeah.
see who gets like the better.
Yeah, who's got, because whoever gets those tools, man, it's gonna be dominating, and we have a lot of interest, and that's why this is happening. And once you start seeing it on that level, then it's just like,
Dude, well, the U.S. going in there and taking Maduro like that,
yeah,
I feel that kind of like, oh shit, it made Mexico be like, damn, they could do that. Like
Yeah.
they could just go
especially
in
hearing the stories of this mythical fucking cyclops fucking technology that
Imagine they did that to like, it's probably not gonna happen ever, right? But like they'd say they did that to like Putin or something. Imagine,
Yeah.
just boom, and then we got Putin. Oh, what the hell?
bro, that's gangster, right?
Gangster as hell, but that would
Yeah.
that would just like everybody just start pressing their nuke button.
And you know that our dudes that are up there, they're ready for it, man. That's what they live for. That's what they're training for.
I'll see the comment sections about like all that stuff, and then people are like, "It's a hell of a day to be a Marine, hurrah!" Whatever. It's like, yeah, I guess they do like that shit. That's what they trained for so long to never do it.
Yeah.
It's like they want to at least start doing shit.
Yeah,
like
they
that.
want to.
And that's scary, man. I feel it's waking a sleeping giant in the military sector, which is like, oh man, like.
Well, now we're going into this whole era of these little tools and toys, and it's not going to be.
They're starting to show their toys that it's always like hidden, right? Of like new
dogs.
Technologies.
Yeah, it's dogs and fucking horses that are. It's crazy.
Have you seen the dogs? They'll have dogs. I think it's like some sort of like German Shepherds or Malinois or whatever those dogs are.
Yeah.
And they'll have titanium fangs.
Wow. Yeah, I can see that they
Imagine that shit.
Altering the mind of these dogs and
Talk about Paw Patrol, huh?
yeah.
It's a real life Paw Patrol.
On steroids, man. But yeah, it's that's where we're headed. That's where we're headed. It's gonna start to be a crazy drone, little things that are embedded into things, and it's gonna be a thing that we don't even. Most of us not even
That's
understand.
what they say about Charlie Kirk, right? That's how there's that conspiracy that he got killed by like this drone or this thing that like the microphone and something. Like, man, I don't even want to start investigating on my end about all that crap. It's just it's crazy, man. You don't know what to believe anymore.
Yeah.
And then like the whole, it's conspiracy. Like that, I feel like that's been overused now. It's not really a conspiracy. It's just now a theory.
We're getting into a world where the reality is blurred. You know, what's real, what's not,
But I feel it's so much in your face now that they can just blur it by saying it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then people just kind of give it the benefit of that. No, dude, it wasn't this top secret. And it's like, well, what do you mean? You know, there actually is this top secret fucking group of people that do this, right? And it's like the document. What? Really? Look here. Damn.
Yeah, bro.
That's great. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's deep. It's deeper. And then imagine it's the shit that we know. Imagine the shit we don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's deep. It's deep, man.
It
blows my mind just even thinking about like how the atomic bomb became and, you know, things like that. It's just like some dude was just thinking it and they thought it. I'm going to get oxygen out of the air and we're going to, you know.
Just separate an atom, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
This is kind of like one of my favorite, and it's not a conspiracy theory, but it was for a while. During the Charles Manson time, they say he was a product of
the Manchurian Candidate type shit.
Yeah, but what is that?
Ultra.
MK Ultra.
Yep.
Yeah, he was a product of MK Ultra, which people are like, that's not real, dude. What do you mean? Like it's real. And this was in the 50s or 60s or something like that, where they would give people psychedelics, LSD and stuff like that, and try to like hypnotize them to make them go and do things. Yeah. And that's kind of what Charles Manson ended up doing with these girls and stuff. It's on Netflix. He would kind of have them always on drugs and doing things and talking about stuff. And then they believed him so much and they would go and do things for him. Yeah. They go and kill these people just because he said. Yeah. If they did that then, what do you think they're doing now, bro? What do you think they're doing now? Come on. Like, or we caught them and then, no, but they took that down, bro. They cut that thing out of the CIA. Okay, and then the CIA was, okay, never again.
Well, it could even be just like messages that you hear over radio and stuff that can, you know, that can alter your mind state.
Dude, well, if they're listening to what we say and then we get ads on our phone, sometimes my brother's like, dude, I swear to God, bro, I didn't even say it. I was thinking of something, and then it came out on my phone. Yeah. I swear to God. And I'm like, damn. It's not far-fetched to think that.
Yeah, it's predictive thinking. It's predictive. It's getting better at.
If they're doing that for advertising, if they're doing that for commerce,
I know.
Of course you know.
Yeah.
So if they're doing that for commerce, for like just to make money, what do you think? You think the government's not doing it for power or for taking over shit?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, dude.
That's where we're headed, and it's going to be beyond belief of stuff. That's where, like, when I started going down the rabbit hole of AI, I'm like, oh, this is why people get anxiety when they think about AI, because
it's not about taking the jobs of the truck drivers because now, dude, that's gonna happen. Yeah, it's gonna happen. If they could do it, and then the technology's there for that, it's gonna happen. It's like when someone invented the cotton gin.
Yeah.
For sure, there was a revolution. Be like, get rid of the kanji. What are we gonna do with all this manual labor? They need a job and this and that. Dude, the market doesn't give a fuck, bro. If it's
We forget about those things too, Chris, because a lot of Ford, when he put out the car, there was a lot of propaganda talking about how this was going to bring the devil to people.
what about the buggy and horse?
Yeah.
What about the guys that sell horses? They're
Yeah.
gonna go out of business now.
There
It's
was a lot of
well,
that.
The market,
Yeah.
it's evolution. Like, market changes, and you need to change with it. You can't try to break, hold the market from doing what it's already there. Like, technology is already there.
Yeah. And we all have to adapt, man. Adapt or die, So
Adapt or die, exactly.
It's happening. It's speeding up. And this is a bigger race than just for to have the coolest computer. It's about real power in the world and not being drowned by another country, or potentially put ourselves in harm. But
it might be what's gonna save the U.S. from economically speaking, for now having something that we're exporting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the problem with the U.S. manufacturing always has been the minimum wage.
Yeah.
So now with AI, we could kind of take control of that, where we don't need the manual labor.
Yeah.
And now we're producing
they're
things
talking
very,
about
very
having
fast and stuff like that.
abundance
And then
shit like
being able to export now and compete with the rest of the world people are doing it by hand. We don't need that. We got the machines.
yeah. Well, America is 250 years old this year.
Young as hell. People, we don't understand that either, huh? How young is that?
But what's crazy too is that most dynasties, the average age of dynasties,
What is it?
300. 300, man.
That's scary. How long has China been going? They're like 500 or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Or more. One of the president once was talking.
10,000 years?
China? Jesus Christ. Oh, okay. Right. Which is,
the China that we know today.
well, I guess not. Obviously, it's
Because it
going to be
was
different.
wasn't it back in the day, it was tribes and shit like that.
Oh, yeah, of course. But it's been going, I think it's probably the longest society kind of thing. And he comes out saying, he's like, dynasties or countries like America have come and go, and China's still here kind of thing. And we'll just wait it out. So, and they're basically just waiting out for the U.S. to kind of crumble.
Yeah. And I think that's when we have to have some kind of proactive, bro. It's either that or what are you going to do? Just sit and fucking enjoy TV and games and be distracted about shit?
And then you got to think, some people think this way. Dude, as long as it's another 60 years at least, I'll be dead by then, so I don't care. So what about your kids, bro? You still be alive, fuck.
You're fucked, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, my kids are starting to kind of open up their minds and explore things, and they're looking at stuff in space and stuff. And they're like, Papa, but the sun, they say that the sun is gonna die eventually one year, and then it's young. I'm like, dude, yes, relatively speaking, it's gonna die, and it's it's gonna die in 10 billion years. What do you care if it's gonna die in 10 billion? You're gonna live only 90 years more, and they're like, what?
Just the fact
and then
that
they're sad about that. They'll be sad about me, Dad, but what about you're gonna die? You're getting old, and I'm like, dude, not for a long time. I am, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm like, I am gonna die, and so is everybody else. We're all gonna die. And then they're just kind of and I'm like, stop thinking of that, weirdo. Go play soccer or something.
Well, just the fact that we're on this planet. When I went down, I went to LA, and they have the observatory or whatever.
Up in the mountains.
Yeah, up in the mountains. You start going down a rabbit hole, man. Just the planet is on a
Axis.
tilted. It's tilted
Yeah.
exactly
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is like that. If we weren't tilted like that, we wouldn't exist.
We wouldn't have seasons, right? Is that what it is? I think.
Yeah, because of the sun and shit like that.
Yeah.
We live in cold and
All the time.
it's crazy. So what are you worried about, man?
Exactly. It's we're in this this sweet spot,
Yeah.
and then that's where if you start going, then that's when you kind of oh, dude, God, it's a plan.
Yeah. What do you think about when people say, oh, it's a balance? They use words like this. What is balance to you?
Well, and it goes hand in hand with what we've been talking about. There's a positive side to everything.
Yeah.
There's a negative and the positive, and they always balance out.
Yeah. Everybody has that. Kobe was big for the mama mentality, and I started embracing that too. Everything. I gotta embrace the bad shit too. That's me.
That's learning from your mistakes, right? Embracing the bad shit.
Yeah.
Learning from your mistakes, finding the lesson in the bad stuff, in the hardship. That's finding the balance in it.
Yeah. So what's your prediction for AI? If we just, so we can look back at this video and laugh at this.
What if
For
I was right?
5 years, 5 years from
5
now,
years.
what's life gonna look like?
I think we're for sure automated cars, right? Like they're gonna be a lot more. They're already happening, right? They have
Yeah.
like those kind of like Ubers, but it's like a Jaguar SUV in like big cities.
Yeah.
And you could they drive by themselves everywhere. That's gonna be a lot more and more common in like every city for sure. And they'll probably be the ones delivering stuff too. I feel like, and this is inevitable. All the like stores are gonna be out of business. Everything's through Amazon, dude. Everything. And then you could just buy something. It'll show up the same day. And then if you don't like it, you can return it.
Yep.
Everything's just gonna be to your house, kind of like,
Yeah.
just kind of like the Jetsons, right?
Yeah.
I
Have you
feel it's
done
gonna be
TikTok Shop or anything like that?
No, I don't go on TikTok, man.
This year, my daughter
I
asked
know
for
I
it.
need to, man, because it's what's new. Like I got to do it,
Bro,
but
it's gonna be big for pushing the Texas Martial Arts
Really?
Expo, bro. I think we need to create it.
you're gonna have to be
Today
the
or
guy for
tomorrow.
me. Yes,
Yes,
you're gonna have to do it
we'll
for
help
me.
you. We'll help you get it all set up. But the TikTok Shop is $1 trillion market in China right now, and last year has really, really grown. And I'm interested in it. I was telling these
Trillion?
guys $1 trillion industry, and this year was the first year that my daughter asked for 100%. Like I usually get an idea, send me some stuff that you're interested in stuff. All TikTok Shop links.
That's easy, right?
It's crazy. And I bought from TikTok Shop for the
It's just
first
so
time.
easy.
Well, I thought, yeah, well, this shit's gonna come from China and it's gonna take forever. You know, that's
Is
why.
it all coming from China?
No, products are from everywhere. If you get on there, so I started looking at the affiliate. So I started educating myself on what it
And then
is.
you kind of know how to look at it, things right through a marketing
Because
mindset.
I want to, like, my goal is to create a media company. Like, we're Channel 7, we're Fox 14, but we're in you with our spin, and we control our narrative of what we talk about, right? And that's my ultimate goal for what we're doing for Monster Link, right? And so I know that Shop has got to be a part of that shit. It's like the QVC of today, right? Where you can, and what I envision is having a Shop El Paso page where people that are creators, like you're a creator, you have a product that you're doing. Well, the hard part is to get it out to people, but you can come onto a platform that has 100,000 followers and is getting out to many people and put your product in front of people, right? And so that's where I'm very interested. So I started going down the rabbit hole, and there's products from everything, dude. Books, Think and Grow Rich, all the books, they're on TikTok Shop now. And if you sell them, like say I go on there and I use a clip from this podcast, which maybe we'll do as an experiment, and and then you get a commission off of that book that's sold, and it'll tell you the commission. You don't even have to deal with the product.
Exactly. You just link it.
You just
And
sell
that
it.
makes sense. Why
Yeah.
wouldn't you? Should get a commission.
It's not even linked. Like it's there. Like
And you don't even have to print the book yourself. You don't have to go and buy it.
everything
and
is-
invest and then sell
and it'll
later.
tell you the commission.
Damn.
It'll tell you the sales. It'll tell you and there's people making millions off of doing that shit.
Yeah, that's something we could sell to the sponsors, right? That we put their products on there and then we get a commission through there.
Everything, man. Telling you. Because it's about that. Because the days of us sitting here and saying, oh, I'm going to do a record shop here. And I'm talking about this because my brother told me the other day, I'm doing a record shop. I'm like,
Record
"Bro."
shop?
Yeah. And I'm
Like
like,
vinyls?
yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I get it though.
Yeah.
But it's a very niche market.
The big problem that I have is I told them the days of us sitting here on our ass and waiting for people to come into our doors is over, bro. Like you have to
send it
be
to
there.
them.
As soon as I'm there, I'm fucking 9:00 at night. Boom, this new record. Oh shit, buy it. Boom.
And then it'll get there at between 4 and 8 in the morning.
Exactly.
What?
But imagine creating that for creators here just in El Paso, because right now we've thought like as a big market, you sell everywhere, but just in El Paso, in the
But they would
area,
have to. But then they would have to be drop shipping.
Yep.
Or,
Yep. And there's a program like with TikTok, like shippers and product manufacturers have ratings too. And if they don't fucking follow so many things, they get followed off.
Right.
of
They
their
have a
product.
2-star
So they
rating
have-
because they took them a week to send that shit out.
And they kick them off of the fucking network. So you have to come through, you know? And there's even these pop-ups in LA.
You want to make money, come through.
Yeah. In
wanna
LA,
be
there's,
lazy?
there's pop-ups where you walk in and on the sides, there's booths and there's people
and
going
they go
live
pick up-
selling product. And in the middle, there's aisles like store. So you can come into the store if you want to and buy the shit. And on the site, there's the fucking creators that are pumping out the messages to the fucking world.
Damn. And then they'll buy them online.
Yep.
And then you just grab it and ship it.
Yep. We got to do that for E4 and all the merch that you have. because it's an easier way to reach people rather than
Yeah, let's
sitting.
do it, man. For that, and then all the Texas Martial Arts Expo stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we run it through E4 anyways.
Yeah, so that's why like my main focus has been build the network, like continue to go more followers, more like get more content that is
I like the stuff that you guys do when you go and ask people like, what is the mountain of El Paso? And they're like, "Ooh," and then I was you put them on blast and they say, but I feel like you put them on blast in like a friendly way, you know, like it's just kind of funny. You got a little.
It's been a challenge recently. Recently we had a girl that was upset because
She got put on there.
she got put on, and she was upset that she got the question. First, she said that I cut the clip, which I did. She got it wrong, and then her friend corrected her, but we used just the first part of the clip. And then the second round, I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna fucking use the whole thing. And it made her look even more bad, you know, like, so she was pissed. So she was like, oh, take us off. So if they ask, I'll do it. I'll take it off. But you know, at the end of the day,
Why?
it's silly, bro. That's the problem, Chris, is this is where I was disconnected from it. And my Gen Zs, my younger crowd, that were like, well, that's insensitive and stuff like that. And I'm like, look, this is the problem with the earlier generation. You guys don't want to be wrong. You want to filter on every fucking thing you do. And it's all right to be wrong. That's how you learn.
Exactly.
That's how I got to where I got, by looking stupid a lot of the fucking time.
Exactly.
And if you can't even do that for a fucking question, you got big problems, because you're going to be let down a lot in your fucking life. And that's glad that I'm saying this here, because that is the truth. That's how I feel, man. And it's just like, fuck, so what? You didn't know what the name of the fucking mountain is.
No one thinks you're perfect. No one thinks you know everything.
People are fucking savages, and they'll go and tear you up in the comments,
Oh,
right?
that of course too.
People are, but it's simple fucking question, bro. It does not say how smart you are or how not smart you are. It's just people like, yeah. So
I think you should keep doing that. You should probably go further, maybe add like in a separate page or something, and do like more political stuff.
bro, like people tell me and will go up to me, Chris. Like the next week I went out, I was down. Sophia was telling me, "Oh, you're making people look bad." I'm like, "You fucking make people look bad? How when did I ever do?" I was like, "Let's pull up your videos." Like, I said, "Look, this is what I have. We're all fucking hypocrites. We like to point fingers at people and shit like that." And I was ready to let go of the whole segment, bro.
Really?
Yeah, I was. And then I went out with this man right here, and we went out, and I went out with Orlando, and everybody was in great spirits, right? Coming up to us, "Bro, I love your videos. I learned so much." One girl even said, "Let me just fucking say some dumb shit because I want it to be funny."
Oh, they want to be, they want to go viral as
They
a
wanted
dumbass.
it to be funny, man. And
Yeah,
I was
don't let some few bad apples ruin
I
everything
told
for you.
Orlando, "Bro, no, this is good, bro. Like I feel in a way like."
And like I said, you're doing it in a good way because it's cool questions, and keep it about El Paso,
Yeah.
or what's happening now, or
She literally told me that what's wrong with the world, and that she hopes our page gets fucking taken down. And like, it was just,
oh my god,
yeah, it was very dramatic.
you should have screenshotted. You should have gone Karen more, screenshotted it and posted it so she gets more.
Well,
pissed.
now we talked about it here, but I didn't really care to talk about it. But since you had asked if there's any problems that we've had, or we were talking about the problems that we've had, that's been the only really one that we've ever had. Other than that, bro, everybody's like, "You know what? It's good." Or people will be like, "Damn, I keep seeing my video," But yeah, no, they're fun, man. I think it's good.
I think they're
and I think
fun.
that's the way that people learn about shit.
I mean, I guess it does make people look dumb when they don't know who the mayor is or that kind of stuff. But I don't. You would have asked me, I would have been like, "Fuck, who is it? Oscar Leisure?"
They didn't offer to give me back my money. I gave them money. So
Oh, that's right. Oh, you pay them every time they get interviewed.
yeah, and when they get the questions right, I give them $20.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, dude, I've given a ton of money away. Who gives money? Nobody. So yeah,
That's
bro.
funny, dude. No, dude, definitely keep doing that.
We're gonna continue doing that. We're gonna continue growing the pages, man. Whatever we.
What
can
about
help.
what about how I said maybe doing a more political? questions. and
Bro,
stuff.
this is why I want to have this platform here, because we can get deeper into these conversations like you and I did a little bit
But
today.
no, kind of like there's this blonde girl that I follow on Facebook. That
Oh,
comes-
yeah.
What's her name? I don't know, but she goes out there and has these debates with people like hard, dude. And she lets them have it. She has a bodyguard right behind her, so she
Really?
doesn't get fucked up. But
Shit, it's like-
but she goes all out, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's
just also people are misinformed too.
I think, that's it.
It's
Is.
the era. It's
education.
the era of information. What they want to call it, disinformation or misinformed. Or it's just like there's always
Too much,
information
bro.
of.
We gave one of these to everybody, and now everybody can get in front of.
Yeah,
of the
you don't know
camera.
what's true
Yeah,
anymore. You don't know
true.
what's right. And then now with AI, you don't know if even the video you just saw is real.
If the person is.
You have to develop like this. Hold on. Nah, that's AI.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't just be like, oh shit, damn, that happened. I just saw the video, bro. What do you mean?
Yeah.
It's AI. My parents fall for that all the time.
Yeah.
Did you see the dog that I'm like, Dad, that's AI. Are you kidding me? And it's like the worst AI too, like some cheap AI.
Yeah, where the lion comes in and snatches the person.
the
It's
bear
like-
that goes in through the
Yeah.
window
Yeah.
on some girl's house. I'm like, you kidding me, bro?
Guilty, bro. I've said a lot of those, and I know Raul's been doing some of it as well too. And he's been telling stories, bro. Because him and I was like, bro, we can do a movie out of this shit. Like, so he's talking about like how he grew up, and the fucking shots look real and they look legit, man.
And then they're all AI.
They're all AI. Damn, it's crazy. But one thing you cannot do with AI is get on the mat and do jujitsu.
Ah, yes. AI will never
Yeah,
take our
no,
job. I
no.
mean, there's YouTube and stuff like that they could learn jiu-jitsu
YouTuber.
off of that.
I know
but
martial arts.
YouTube jitsu, we call it, right? But you got to go out there and practice it.
Yeah, you got to do it, man. So I think the moral of today, man, is just like do hard shit, right? Because that's gonna build you up, man. And
Yeah.
you're a testament to that.
Don't look at it as just because something's hard is not bad. It's
Yeah.
like it's look at it as a good obstacle to overcome.
Yeah, I've always seen you like that, man. You've always stayed strong in your lane, and you help kids. I see how you build kids up. That's why I always believe in what you do, and I support what you do because I know it's good, man. It's helped me in my life,
Thanks,
and
bro.
it's me just giving back as well to other people because maybe that's going to cause a spark to the next person that's going to wake up
Hell yeah.
like we
Yeah.
did. Like you said, I was out on the streets and I was just trying to find my way, and I found it, man. And it woke me up. It was just like
And then you get that momentum, right? And then one thing
Yeah.
leads to another, and the ball
you start
goes,
believing in
rolling.
yourself.
Yeah.
You start saying, all right, man, I'll be all right.
Yeah, and then that feeling of success, even the little successes, just keeps you going. And then you have bigger successes, bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and you just get addicted to that.
Yeah, man.
To succeed.
So yeah, thanks for coming through on the podcast, Chris. You and I can talk for fucking days, bro. But I wanted to run it back too because the first podcast we did, the quality was kind of like off and shit like that.
thought it was
So I'm like-
great. I
I'm
thought it
like,
was
bro,
good.
we gotta run it back to have some really
I'm
good
excited
clips.
to see this come out.
Yeah, really good clips to come out, and you got a lot of good tips and a lot of good information to tell people that look, guys, you don't even have to read a book. Learn it through doing hard shit, and life is gonna be
And
your
analyzing yourself and put yourself in a humble perspective to where you could kind of be true by yourself and where you fucked up and where you need to work
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, definitely, man. So thanks for coming out, Chris. I
Thank you, Raul.
want to run it back, and we're gonna continue work on stuff. I'm gonna definitely help you on the Texas Expo, whatever we can do and I can do.
I'm excited for that.
We'll push forward, man. But thanks again for coming
Thanks,
through,
Raul.
and that's it. I think we did about 3 hours, and we said about halfway that we were done. But I was like, "Fuck it, Chris is good. I'm good. Let's run it, bro." So,
Yeah.
all right, thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
All right, man.